The Daily Rituals of Great Achievers. Build Powerful Habits for Success, Productivity, and Growth. By T.M. Light. Description: The Daily Rituals of Great Achievers. Build Powerful Habits for Success, Productivity, and Growth is a motivational self-help book designed to help readers transform their lives through powerful daily habits and proven success routines. This inspiring guide explores productivity, discipline, mindset, focus, personal growth, health, and high-performance rituals used by successful people around the world. Readers will learn how to overcome procrastination, master consistency, build emotional resilience, improve relationships, and create lasting success systems. Packed with practical strategies and motivational insights, this book empowers readers to unlock their full potential, develop winning habits, and create a purposeful, balanced, and successful life one day at a time. Chapter Outline. Introduction: Why Daily Rituals Shape Extraordinary Lives. Chapter 1: The Power of Daily Rituals. Chapter 2: Winning the Morning. Chapter 3: Mastering Focus and Deep Work. Chapter 4: The Discipline Advantage. Chapter 5: Health Habits for High Performance. Chapter 6: Mindset Rituals for Growth. Chapter 7: Productivity Systems that Work. Chapter 8: Lifelong Learning and Personal Growth. Chapter 9: Relationships and Social Habits. Chapter 10: Designing Your Success Lifestyle. Conclusion Outline. Introduction. Why Daily Rituals Shape Extraordinary Lives. Success is rarely the result of one dramatic moment. It is not usually built in a single day, created by luck, or handed to a fortunate few. Behind every great achievement lies a series of small actions repeated consistently over time. The world often celebrates the finished product, the successful entrepreneur, the world-class athlete, the best-selling author, or the influential leader, but very few people see the disciplined routines and daily rituals that made those accomplishments possible. What appears extraordinary on the outside is often the result of ordinary habits practiced faithfully behind the scenes. Daily rituals are the invisible foundation of every successful life. They shape the way people think, work, respond to challenges, and grow through adversity. Whether someone realizes it or not, their habits are quietly creating their future every single day. The small decisions made in the morning, the thoughts entertained throughout the day, and the actions repeated consistently over months and years eventually determine the quality of a person's life. Many people spend years searching for a breakthrough while ignoring the power of routine. They wait for inspiration before taking action. They rely on motivation to carry them forward. But motivation is temporary. Some days motivation is strong, while other days it disappears completely. This is why high achievers do not build their lives around feelings alone. They build systems. They create rituals that keep them moving even when they do not feel inspired. They understand that success is not about being perfect every day, it is about showing up consistently. The truth is that habits influence almost every area of life. They shape mindset, productivity, discipline, confidence, relationships, health, and personal growth. A person who develops strong habits gradually becomes stronger mentally and emotionally. Their confidence increases because they begin to trust themselves. Every promise they keep to themselves becomes evidence that they are capable of growth. Over time, this creates momentum that transforms not only what they do, but also who they become. Consider how powerful a single positive habit can be. Waking up early to plan the day can create clarity and focus. Reading for 30 minutes daily can expand knowledge and sharpen thinking. Exercising consistently can increase energy, discipline, and resilience. Practicing gratitude can improve emotional well-being and outlook on life. These actions may seem small in isolation, but repeated consistently, they become life-changing. In the same way, Negative habits can slowly limit potential, drain energy, and create frustration. The direction of life is often determined by what is repeated daily. Science has repeatedly shown that habits are formed through repetition and consistency. The human brain is designed to automate behaviors that are practiced regularly. At first, change may feel uncomfortable because the mind naturally resists unfamiliar patterns. However, with enough repetition, new behaviors become easier and more natural. This is encouraging because it means transformation is available to anyone willing to commit to the process. No one is born with perfect discipline or extraordinary focus. Those qualities are developed through intentional action over time. One of the biggest myths about success is the idea of overnight achievement. Society often promotes stories that make success appear instant and effortless. People see the reward, but overlook the years of preparation, sacrifice, and persistence behind it. The athlete who wins a championship has likely spent years training before sunrise. The entrepreneur who builds a thriving company has endured failures, setbacks, and sleepless nights. The author who inspires millions has often written in silence long before receiving recognition. Greatness is almost always built gradually. Another common myth is that successful people are simply more talented or naturally gifted. While talent can provide an advantage, it is discipline and consistency that sustain long-term success. There are countless talented individuals who never reach their full potential because they lack structure and commitment. At the same time, there are ordinary people who achieve extraordinary results because they develop strong habits and refuse to quit. Persistence often matters more than perfection. This book is designed to help readers understand and apply the daily rituals that lead to lasting success, productivity, and growth. It is not about chasing unrealistic perfection or living under constant pressure. Instead, it is about building a lifestyle that supports personal excellence one day at a time. The principles in these chapters are practical, powerful, and designed to create long-term transformation. Every chapter in this book focuses on a specific area of growth that contributes to a successful and meaningful life. Readers will learn how to create strong morning routines, improve focus, strengthen discipline, increase productivity, develop a growth mindset, and build healthier habits for both mind and body. They will also discover how relationships, learning, and intentional living play a critical role in long-term achievement. More importantly, this book is meant to be applied, not simply read. Knowledge without action produces little change. Real transformation happens when ideas are practiced consistently in daily life. Readers are encouraged to take small steps after each chapter. Progress does not require dramatic change overnight. Even the smallest improvement repeated daily can produce extraordinary results over time. There may be moments when the journey feels difficult. There may be days when motivation fades, distractions increase, or progress feels slow. That is normal. Growth is not always visible immediately. Just as a seed grows beneath the surface before it breaks through the ground, personal transformation often happens quietly, before results become visible. What matters most is consistency. Every positive action matters. Every disciplined decision matters. Every small habit is shaping the future. The life you desire is not created by chance. It is created by what you repeatedly do each day. Your routines are either building your dreams or weakening them. The good news is that you have the power to change your direction at any moment. You can choose habits that strengthen your mind, increase your focus, improve your health, and move you closer to your goals. Extraordinary lives are not built in a single leap. They are built through daily rituals practiced with purpose, patience, and persistence. As you move through the pages of this book, remember that lasting success is not reserved for a select few. It belongs to those who are willing to commit to growth every single day. Your future is being shaped by your habits right now, and the decisions you make today have the power to transform your tomorrow. Chapter 1: The Power of Daily Rituals. Why small actions create massive results. Every extraordinary life is built one day at a time. Behind every major accomplishment, every inspiring success story, and every remarkable transformation lies a series of repeated actions that often seem small and insignificant in the moment. Great achievements are rarely the result of one giant leap. More often, they are the outcome of consistent habits practiced daily with patience, focus, and determination. The power of daily rituals is not found in dramatic actions performed once in a while, but in simple disciplines repeated long enough to create lasting change. Many people underestimate the impact of small actions because they expect immediate results. They begin a new habit full of excitement, only to become discouraged when progress seems invisible after a few days or weeks. What they fail to realize is that success operates according to the law of accumulation. Just as a tiny seed eventually grows into a mighty tree, small habits repeated consistently grow into extraordinary outcomes over time. The results may not appear instantly, but every action matters. Every decision contributes to the direction of your life. Imagine placing a single drop of water into a bucket. At first it seems meaningless. One drop changes nothing. But over time, thousands of drops fill the bucket completely. Success works the same way. Reading 10 pages a day may not seem life-changing today, but over the course of a year, it can amount to dozens of completed books and a transformed mindset. Exercising for 30 minutes daily may feel small, but over time it strengthens the body, increases confidence, and improves emotional health. Saving a small amount of money consistently can eventually create financial freedom. Tiny actions, when repeated faithfully, produce powerful results. This is known as the compound effect of habits. Small choices either work for you or against you. Positive habits compound into growth, while negative habits compound into limitations. The challenge is that the effects are often delayed. Good habits usually do not reward people immediately, while bad habits rarely punish people instantly. A person may skip exercise for a few days without noticing major consequences. Another may procrastinate repeatedly while still appearing productive on the surface. However, over months and years, the consequences become impossible to ignore. Habits quietly shape health, finances, relationships, character, and destiny. The beauty of this principle is that it works for everyone. You do not need to make massive changes overnight to transform your life. You simply need to improve consistently. Small daily progress is far more powerful than occasional bursts of motivation. One disciplined step repeated every day will eventually take you farther than giant efforts performed inconsistently. One of the greatest misunderstandings people have about success is their obsession with goals alone. Goals are important because they provide direction, vision, and purpose. They give people something to aim for. However, goals without systems often lead to frustration. A goal is the destination, but a system is the process that gets you there. Many people dream about success while neglecting the daily routines required to achieve it. Consider two people who both want to become healthier. One person focuses only on the goal of losing weight, while the other focuses on building systems such as exercising consistently, preparing healthy meals, drinking more water, and getting proper sleep. The first person may feel motivated temporarily, but the second person creates habits that support long-term transformation. Goals may inspire action, but systems sustain progress. Successful people understand this deeply. They do not depend on motivation alone, because motivation changes constantly. Some mornings they feel energized and inspired. Other days they feel tired, distracted, or discouraged. If they relied only on emotions, they would never achieve consistent results. Instead, they create rituals that keep them moving forward regardless of how they feel. They understand that discipline creates freedom. Daily routines also shape identity and character. Every action sends a message to the mind about who you are becoming. When you wake up early consistently, you begin to see yourself as disciplined. When you keep promises to yourself, you develop self-trust. When you commit to growth daily, you start identifying as someone who is capable of excellence. Identity is not formed by occasional actions, it is formed by repeated behavior. This is why habits are so powerful. They do not only change what you do, they change who you become. A person who writes every day eventually becomes a writer. A person who trains consistently becomes an athlete. A person who practices kindness daily becomes compassionate and emotionally strong. Character is built through repeated actions over time. The opposite is also true. Negative routines gradually weaken identity and confidence. Constant procrastination creates self-doubt. Repeated excuses reinforce weakness. Negative thinking shapes a pessimistic mindset. Every habit either strengthens or weakens the person you are becoming. Whether you realize it or not, your routines are shaping your future every single day. Throughout history, many successful individuals have relied heavily on rituals and routines. Their achievements were not accidental. They understood that greatness requires structure and consistency. Some of the world's most accomplished leaders, athletes, entrepreneurs and creatives built their success around disciplined daily habits. Many successful business leaders begin their mornings early with exercise, reading, meditation, or planning sessions before the distractions of the day begin. Athletes follow strict training routines because they understand that championships are won during practice long before game day arrives. Writers develop the discipline to write regularly, even when inspiration feels absent. Musicians spend countless hours practicing scales and techniques behind the scenes before performing on stage. Excellence is almost always hidden inside daily repetition. What separates high achievers from average performers is often not intelligence, talent, or luck. It is consistency. Successful people continue showing up long after others quit. They understand that mastery requires patience. They trust the process even when results are not immediate. The psychology behind consistency is deeply connected to how the brain functions. The brain is designed to automate repeated behaviors in order to conserve energy. This is why habits become easier over time. At first, change feels difficult because the mind prefers familiar patterns. New routines require conscious effort and discipline. However, with repetition, the brain creates stronger neural pathways that make those actions more automatic. This means that consistency eventually reduces resistance. The person who struggles to wake up early initially may eventually do it naturally. The person who once found exercise exhausting may later crave movement daily. The key is repetition. Every time a positive behavior is repeated, the brain strengthens that pattern. Consistency also builds confidence. Many people struggle with self-belief because they repeatedly break promises to themselves. They set goals but fail to follow through consistently. Over time, this weakens trust in their own ability. However, when people consistently keep small commitments, they begin rebuilding confidence. Every completed habit becomes proof that change is possible. It is important to understand that consistency does not mean perfection. Nobody performs flawlessly every day. There will be moments of failure, distractions, setbacks, and difficult seasons. What matters most is the willingness to continue. Missing one day does not destroy progress. Giving up completely does. Successful people are not perfect, they are persistent. As you begin understanding the power of rituals, it becomes necessary to evaluate your current habits honestly. Every person has routines that either move life forward or backward. Some habits create growth, while others quietly steal time, energy, and potential. The challenge is that many destructive habits appear harmless in the short term. Scrolling endlessly through social media may seem relaxing, but over time it can reduce focus, increase comparison, and waste valuable hours. Constant procrastination may provide temporary comfort, but it slowly destroys confidence and productivity. Negative self-talk can quietly shape a mindset filled with fear and limitation. These patterns often develop gradually, until they become normal. On the other hand, empowering habits strengthen every area of life. Reading daily expands knowledge. Planning the day increases productivity. Exercising improves physical and emotional health. Practicing gratitude creates emotional resilience. Spending intentional time with positive people strengthens relationships and mindset. Productive habits act as investments in your future self. One of the most powerful exercises you can do is conduct a personal habit audit. This requires complete honesty. Take time to examine your daily routines carefully. Ask yourself which habits are helping you become the person you want to be, and which habits are pulling you away from your goals. Observe how you spend your mornings, your evenings, your free time, and your mental energy. Pay attention to repeated patterns. Notice what drains your energy and what strengthens it. Identify the habits that produce growth and the ones that produce regret. This process is not about guilt or self-condemnation. It is about awareness. You cannot change what you refuse to acknowledge. Once you identify negative patterns, focus on replacing them gradually instead of trying to change everything overnight. Sustainable transformation happens step by step. Small, consistent improvements are more effective than extreme temporary changes. Replace one unhealthy habit with a positive one. Commit to one new discipline at a time. Allow consistency to create momentum. Remember that every day is an opportunity to build a stronger future. Every positive action matters, no matter how small it seems. The person you become tomorrow is being shaped by the habits you practice today. Your routines are creating your reality. There is greatness inside every person, but greatness must be developed intentionally. Success is not reserved for a fortunate few. It belongs to those who are willing to practice discipline consistently, trust the process, and keep moving forward even when progress feels slow. Daily rituals are the bridge between dreams and reality. The life you desire is not created in a single breakthrough moment. It is created through repeated actions, disciplined thinking, and faithful consistency over time. Small actions truly do create massive results. When you commit to improving daily, you begin unlocking levels of growth, productivity, confidence, and success that once seemed impossible. Your future is being built right now by the choices you make every day. Choose habits that strengthen you. Choose routines that align with your purpose. Choose actions that move your life forward. Over time, those small choices will create a powerful and extraordinary life. Chapter 2: Winning the Morning. How great achievers start their day. Every day begins with a choice. Before the noise of the world grows louder, before responsibilities demand attention, and before distractions compete for focus, there is a quiet window of opportunity that has the power to shape the entire direction of the day. This window is the morning. For many of the world's greatest achievers, the morning is not just the beginning of the day, it is the foundation upon which success, productivity, clarity, and personal growth are built. The way a person starts the morning often determines the energy, mindset, and momentum they carry into the rest of the day. A rushed, chaotic morning can create stress, frustration, and mental exhaustion before the day has even fully begun. On the other hand, a purposeful and disciplined morning creates calmness, focus, confidence, and control. Winning the morning is not about perfection. It is about intentionality. It is about beginning each day with actions that strengthen the mind, body, and spirit. Many people live reactively. They wake up late, rush through the morning, immediately check notifications, and allow external demands to dictate their thoughts and emotions. Before they even leave their bed, they are already responding to messages, comparing themselves on social media, or absorbing stressful information. As a result, they begin the day mentally scattered and emotionally drained. Instead of leading their day, they spend the day reacting to it. Great achievers understand that mornings are too valuable to waste. They recognize that the first moments of the day carry enormous influence over productivity, discipline, emotional health, and decision-making. They use the morning to prepare themselves mentally and physically for the challenges ahead. Rather than surrendering their attention to distractions, they focus on activities that create strength, clarity, and purpose. There is something powerful about waking up early before the world becomes busy. Early mornings provide silence in a noisy world. They create space for reflection, planning, learning, and growth. While others are still asleep, disciplined individuals use those hours to invest in themselves. Waking up early is not simply about getting more hours in the day. It is about gaining control over those hours. One of the greatest benefits of waking up early is the opportunity to think clearly without constant interruption. During the early hours, the mind is often calmer and more focused. There are fewer distractions competing for attention, which allows people to work on important priorities with greater concentration. Early mornings also create a sense of momentum. Starting the day productively builds confidence and increases the likelihood of making better decisions throughout the day. Another powerful benefit of waking up early is emotional stability. When people rush out of bed at the last minute, stress levels immediately rise. The body and mind enter a reactive state, creating tension before the day even begins. In contrast, waking up earlier allows time to move with intention instead of panic. It creates space to breathe, reflect, and prepare mentally. This simple shift can dramatically improve mood, patience, and emotional resilience. Many successful individuals throughout history have embraced the discipline of early mornings. Business leaders, athletes, writers, and innovators often credit their morning routines as one of the keys to their productivity and success. They understand that success is not built only during major moments of achievement. It is built quietly, during daily preparation. The morning is where focus is sharpened, discipline is strengthened, and momentum begins. However, waking up early alone is not enough. What matters most is how those early hours are used. A productive morning routine is designed to strengthen every area of life. It should energize the body, sharpen the mind, and align the spirit with purpose. Morning rituals are not meant to feel like punishment. They are investments in becoming the best version of yourself. One of the most powerful morning habits is physical movement. Exercise in the morning does more than improve physical health. It increases energy, boosts mood, sharpens focus, and strengthens discipline. Movement awakens the body and mind, preparing both for the demands of the day ahead. Whether it is a full workout, a brisk walk, stretching, yoga, or light cardio, morning exercise creates momentum that often carries into every other activity. Exercise also builds mental toughness. Choosing movement early in the morning requires discipline, especially on days when comfort feels more appealing. Every time a person follows through despite resistance, they strengthen their ability to overcome excuses. This mindset eventually extends beyond fitness and influences every area of life. Discipline practiced physically becomes discipline practiced mentally and emotionally. Hydration is another simple but powerful morning ritual. After several hours of sleep, the body naturally becomes dehydrated. Drinking water first thing in the morning helps restore energy, improve concentration, and support overall health. Many people underestimate the impact of hydration on mental clarity and physical performance. Starting the day with water instead of immediately consuming caffeine or sugary drinks can significantly improve how the body functions throughout the day. Meditation and quiet reflection are also valuable morning practices embraced by many high performers. In a world filled with constant noise and endless distractions, moments of stillness are becoming increasingly rare. Meditation allows the mind to slow down, reduce stress, and regain focus. It creates mental clarity and emotional balance before external pressures begin demanding attention. For some people, meditation may involve deep breathing exercises or mindfulness practices. For others, it may involve prayer, gratitude, or simply sitting quietly to reflect on life and purpose. The specific method matters less than the intention behind it. The goal is to center the mind before entering the busyness of the day. Great achievers understand that inner peace and mental clarity are not accidental. They must be cultivated intentionally. Journaling is another transformative morning habit that helps people organize their thoughts, strengthen focus, and maintain perspective. Writing down goals, reflections, ideas, or expressions of gratitude can create emotional clarity and direction. Journaling allows individuals to process emotions, release mental clutter, and focus on what truly matters. Many successful people use journaling to identify priorities for the day ahead. Others use it to reflect on personal growth, lessons learned, or long-term vision. Gratitude journaling in particular has the power to shift attention away from negativity and toward appreciation. Beginning the day with gratitude creates a mindset of abundance rather than lack. It reminds people that even during difficult seasons, there is always something valuable to appreciate. One of the greatest threats to a productive morning is digital distraction. Many people begin their day by immediately reaching for their phones. Within minutes they are consumed by emails, news headlines, social media updates, notifications, and messages. Instead of controlling their attention, they surrender it to external demands before their minds are fully awake. This habit may seem harmless, but it often creates anxiety, comparison, distraction, and mental overload. Social media, especially, can place people in a reactive emotional state early in the morning. Instead of beginning the day with clarity and purpose, they begin it absorbing other people's opinions, achievements, problems, and expectations. Great achievers guard their mornings carefully. They understand that attention is one of the most valuable resources they possess. Many intentionally avoid checking their phones during the first hour of the day. They prioritize strengthening their mindset before engaging with the outside world. This practice protects focus and creates mental space for intentional thinking. Creating a personalized morning routine is essential because no single routine works for everyone. Some people thrive with intense workouts early in the morning, while others benefit more from quiet reflection and planning. Some enjoy reading motivational material, while others prefer creative work or meditation. The key is not copying someone else's routine perfectly, but designing one that aligns with your goals, personality, and lifestyle. A successful morning routine should feel purposeful, sustainable, and empowering. It should support personal growth rather than create unnecessary pressure. The best routines are realistic enough to maintain consistently. A simple routine practiced faithfully is more powerful than an overly complicated routine abandoned after a few weeks. The process of building a morning routine often begins with identifying what matters most. Ask yourself how you want to feel each morning. Do you want more focus, peace, energy, confidence, or productivity? Then choose habits that support those outcomes. Even small changes can create significant results over time. For example, one person's morning routine may begin with waking up at 5:30 a.m., drinking water, exercising for 30 minutes, meditating for 10 minutes, journaling goals for the day, and reading personal development material before starting work. Another person may prefer stretching, prayer, quiet reflection, and planning their day over coffee. Both routines can be effective if they create clarity, discipline, and positive momentum. Many high performers follow structured morning schedules because they understand the power of consistency. Some successful entrepreneurs begin their mornings with exercise, followed by focused planning sessions. Athletes often wake early for physical training and mental preparation. Writers and creatives frequently use mornings for uninterrupted deep work because the mind is often freshest during those hours. While their routines differ, the common theme is intentionality. These individuals do not leave their mornings to chance. They understand that if they do not take control of their day early, distractions and responsibilities eventually will. Their routines provide structure, stability, and momentum. More importantly, their habits reinforce the identity of disciplined and purposeful individuals. It is important to remember that transformation does not happen instantly. Building an effective morning routine requires patience and consistency. At first, waking up earlier or practicing new habits may feel uncomfortable. The body and mind naturally resist change. However, over time, repetition creates familiarity, and what once felt difficult eventually becomes natural. There will be days when motivation is low. Some mornings will feel harder than others. That is normal. The goal is not perfection but persistence. Missing one morning routine does not erase progress. What matters is the willingness to continue. Every disciplined morning strengthens momentum and reinforces positive identity. Winning the morning is ultimately about winning control over your life. It is about deciding that your future deserves intentional effort rather than careless habits. It is about preparing yourself mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually for success before the world begins demanding your energy. The quality of your mornings influences the quality of your days, and the quality of your days shapes the quality of your life. Every sunrise presents a new opportunity to reset, refocus, and move closer to your goals. The morning is not just another part of the day. It is the starting point of transformation. When you begin each day with purpose, discipline, and clarity, you create momentum that carries into every area of life. You become more focused, more productive, more confident, and more resilient. Over time, those mornings compound into extraordinary growth. Your future is shaped by how you begin today. Choose to rise with intention. Choose to protect your focus. Choose habits that strengthen your mind and body. Choose routines that align with the person you are becoming. When you learn to win the morning, you begin learning how to win your life. Chapter 3: Mastering Focus and Deep Work. Eliminating distractions and increasing productivity. In a world filled with endless notifications, constant interruptions, and non-stop demands for attention, focus has become one of the most valuable skills a person can develop. Many people are busy every day, yet very few are truly productive. They move from task to task, respond to messages, scroll through information, and multitask constantly, but at the end of the day they often feel mentally exhausted without making meaningful progress. The problem is not always a lack of effort. More often, it is a lack of focused attention. Great achievers understand a powerful truth that average performers often overlook. Success is not determined only by how hard you work, but by how deeply you focus on what truly matters. The ability to concentrate without distraction for extended periods of time is becoming increasingly rare, yet it remains one of the greatest advantages in achieving extraordinary results. In a distracted world, focus is a superpower. Every major accomplishment requires concentrated effort. Books are written through focused hours of thinking and creativity. Businesses are built through strategic attention and disciplined execution. Athletes develop mastery through intense training and concentration. Artists create remarkable work through deep immersion in their craft. Meaningful success rarely comes from scattered attention. It is produced by the ability to direct energy toward important work consistently. Focused attention is powerful because it allows the mind to operate at its highest level. When the brain is fully engaged in one meaningful task, productivity increases, creativity improves, and performance reaches a deeper level of excellence. This state of complete concentration is often referred to as deep work. Deep work occurs when a person gives undivided attention to a task without distraction, allowing the mind to think clearly, solve problems effectively, and produce high-quality results. Deep work is becoming more difficult in modern society because distractions are everywhere. Phones vibrate constantly. Social media competes endlessly for attention. Emails arrive every few minutes. Entertainment is available instantly. Many people have become so accustomed to distraction that silence and uninterrupted concentration feel uncomfortable. The mind becomes trained to seek stimulation rather than focus. However, deep work is where transformation happens. It is during these periods of focused concentration that people produce their best ideas, complete their most important tasks, and make meaningful progress toward their goals. Deep work allows individuals to move beyond shallow activity and enter a state of true productivity. Closely connected to deep work is the concept of flow. Flow is a mental state where a person becomes completely immersed in an activity. During flow, distractions fade away, time feels different, and performance reaches extraordinary levels. Athletes often describe this as being in the zone. Writers experience it when words seem to flow effortlessly onto the page. Musicians feel it when they lose themselves in performance. Flow occurs when focus becomes so intense that the mind and body operate together seamlessly. The beauty of flow is that it creates both productivity and fulfillment. Work no longer feels forced or draining. Instead, it becomes energizing and deeply engaging. Yet flow cannot exist in environments filled with constant interruption. It requires sustained attention and mental presence. This is why mastering focus is essential not only for achievement, but also for experiencing deeper satisfaction in life and work. One of the greatest enemies of focus is multitasking. Modern culture often praises multitasking as a valuable skill, but in reality, multitasking destroys performance. The human brain is not designed to concentrate fully on multiple demanding tasks simultaneously. What people call multitasking is usually rapid task switching, where attention constantly jumps from one activity to another. Every time attention shifts, mental energy is lost. The brain requires time to refocus each time an interruption occurs. This constant switching reduces efficiency, increases mistakes, weakens concentration, and creates mental fatigue. A person who checks messages while working, scrolls social media during meetings, or constantly switches between tasks may feel busy, but their effectiveness decreases significantly. Multitasking also weakens the quality of work. Important tasks require depth, creativity, and careful thinking. When attention is divided, performance becomes shallow. Work completed in distraction often lacks excellence because the mind never fully engages with the task. Great achievers understand the importance of singular focus. They concentrate deeply on one priority at a time. Instead of trying to do everything at once, they identify what matters most and direct their full attention toward it. This ability to prioritize creates clarity and momentum. One of the most effective ways to strengthen focus is through time blocking. Time blocking is the practice of scheduling specific periods of time for important tasks without interruption. Instead of approaching the day reactively, individuals intentionally assign blocks of time to activities that matter most. This creates structure and reduces the likelihood of distraction. Time blocking works because it forces intentionality. Rather than allowing the day to be controlled by random demands, it creates clear priorities. A person may dedicate one block of time to creative work, another to meetings, another to exercise, and another to learning or planning. During each block, attention remains fully focused on the assigned activity. This approach also reduces decision fatigue. Many people waste mental energy constantly deciding what to do next. Time blocking removes unnecessary choices by creating a clear plan in advance. When the time arrives for a specific task, the focus shifts toward execution rather than indecision. Prioritization is equally important in mastering productivity. Not all tasks carry equal importance. Some activities create significant progress, while others merely create the illusion of productivity. Successful individuals learn to distinguish between urgent tasks and truly meaningful ones. They understand that being busy does not always mean being effective. One of the most powerful questions a person can ask each day is, "What is the most important thing I need to accomplish today?" Focusing on high-impact activities creates greater results than scattering energy across countless minor tasks. Productivity is not about doing more things. It is about doing the right things with excellence. Managing distractions is essential for protecting focus. Notifications, social media, emails, and interruptions constantly compete for attention, making concentration increasingly difficult. Many people underestimate how deeply these distractions affect their productivity and mental clarity. Even brief interruptions can break momentum and reduce the quality of work. Notifications are particularly destructive because they train the brain to expect constant stimulation. Every vibration or alert pulls attention away from meaningful work. Over time, this weakens concentration and increases dependency on external stimulation. Many people instinctively check their phones hundreds of times a day, without realizing how much mental energy is being drained. Social media can also become a major obstacle to deep focus. While technology offers valuable opportunities for communication and learning, excessive social media use often leads to distraction, comparison, anxiety, and wasted time. Minutes quickly turn into hours, leaving people mentally exhausted without accomplishing meaningful work. Top achievers often establish strict boundaries around technology. Many silence notifications during focused work sessions. Others place their phones in another room while working. Some schedule designated times for checking emails and messages instead of responding constantly throughout the day. These habits protect attention and create mental space for deeper thinking. Interruptions from people can also disrupt productivity. While relationships and collaboration are important, constant interruptions make sustained focus nearly impossible. Successful individuals often communicate clear boundaries during periods of deep work. They create uninterrupted time where concentration becomes the priority. The environment surrounding a person also has a significant impact on focus and productivity. A cluttered, noisy, or chaotic environment can increase distraction and mental fatigue. On the other hand, a calm and organized space supports concentration and creativity. Creating an environment for deep work does not require perfection or luxury. It simply requires intentionality. A clean workspace, reduced noise, proper lighting, and minimal distractions can dramatically improve focus. Some people work best in complete silence, while others benefit from soft instrumental music or natural sounds. The goal is to create an atmosphere that supports concentration rather than competes against it. Physical energy also influences focus. A tired mind struggles to concentrate deeply. This is why sleep, exercise, hydration, and nutrition are essential for productivity. Mental performance is closely connected to physical health. Great achievers understand that peak focus requires taking care of the body as well as the mind. Daily rituals play a major role in helping successful individuals maintain focus consistently. Many top performers begin their day with intentional practices that prepare the mind for concentrated work. Some meditate to calm mental distractions. Others exercise to increase energy and mental clarity. Many review their priorities each morning to ensure their attention remains aligned with meaningful goals. Some high achievers dedicate their most productive hours to deep work before engaging in meetings, emails, or social interactions. They understand that creative and mentally demanding work requires fresh energy and focused attention. By protecting those hours carefully, they maximize productivity and performance. Writers often establish strict writing routines where they work uninterrupted for several hours daily. Entrepreneurs schedule focused thinking time away from distractions to strategize and solve problems. Athletes engage in mental preparation rituals before training or competition. These habits may differ in form, but they all serve the same purpose: protecting concentration and strengthening performance. Consistency is essential in developing focus. Just like a muscle, attention becomes stronger through regular practice. At first, deep concentration may feel difficult because the mind has become accustomed to constant stimulation. However, with discipline and repetition, the ability to focus improves significantly. This process requires patience. Many people expect instant mastery, but focus develops gradually over time. The key is reducing distractions consistently and practicing sustained attention daily. Even small improvements compound into significant results. It is also important to understand that rest plays a critical role in maintaining focus. The mind cannot operate at peak performance endlessly without recovery. Breaks, sleep, reflection, and relaxation are necessary for mental renewal. Burnout weakens concentration and reduces productivity. Sustainable success requires balance between focused effort and intentional recovery. Mastering focus is ultimately about taking control of your attention. Your attention shapes your life because whatever consistently captures your focus eventually influences your thoughts, habits, emotions, and results. If your attention is constantly scattered, your energy becomes scattered as well. But when your focus becomes disciplined and intentional, your potential expands dramatically. Every day presents a battle for your attention. Distractions will always exist. The world will continue competing for your focus. The question is whether you will allow external noise to control your mind, or whether you will intentionally direct your attention toward what truly matters. The ability to focus deeply is one of the greatest investments you can make in your future. It strengthens productivity, sharpens creativity, increases confidence, and accelerates growth. It allows you to produce work of higher quality and live with greater intentionality. Most importantly, it helps you move steadily toward your goals instead of remaining trapped in cycles of distraction and unfinished potential. You do not need to master focus perfectly overnight. Begin with small changes. Protect your mornings. Silence unnecessary notifications. Create time for deep work. Focus on one task at a time. Build an environment that supports concentration. Practice consistency daily. Over time, these habits will transform the way you think, work, and live. As your focus strengthens, your productivity will increase. Your confidence will grow. Your ability to create meaningful results will expand. You will discover that extraordinary achievement is not reserved for the most talented people, but often belongs to those who learn to focus deeply on what truly matters. Your attention is one of the most powerful resources you possess. Guard it carefully. Direct it intentionally. Master it consistently. When you learn to master focus and deep work, you unlock the ability to achieve far more than you once believed possible. Chapter 4: The Discipline Advantage. Building consistency when motivation fades. Every person dreams of success, growth, and achievement, but only a small percentage of people remain committed long enough to transform those dreams into reality. The difference is rarely talent alone. It is not always intelligence, opportunity, or luck. More often, the difference is discipline. While motivation may inspire people to begin, discipline is what keeps them moving forward when excitement disappears, obstacles appear, and progress feels slow. There is a dangerous misconception that successful people always feel motivated. Many imagine that achievers wake up every morning, overflowing with energy, enthusiasm, and inspiration. The truth is far different. Even the most successful individuals experience difficult days. They face moments of doubt, fatigue, discouragement, and resistance just like everyone else. What separates them is not the absence of struggle, but the presence of discipline. Motivation is emotional. It rises and falls depending on mood, circumstances, and feelings. Some days motivation feels powerful, making work seem easy and exciting. Other days motivation disappears completely, leaving behind procrastination and excuses. If success depended only on motivation, very few people would ever accomplish anything meaningful. Motivation may start the journey, but discipline finishes it. Discipline is the ability to do what needs to be done even when you do not feel like doing it. It is choosing long-term growth over temporary comfort. It is showing up consistently, regardless of emotion. Discipline does not ask whether the task feels easy or enjoyable. It asks whether the task is necessary for growth and progress. This is why discipline beats motivation every time. Motivation waits for the perfect feeling, but discipline creates action despite imperfect feelings. Motivation is temporary, but discipline builds consistency. Motivation may disappear during difficult seasons, but discipline remains steady. When people rely only on emotions, they become inconsistent. When they develop discipline, they become unstoppable. The greatest achievements in life are almost always built through disciplined consistency. Athletes train when their bodies feel tired. Entrepreneurs continue working through setbacks and uncertainty. Writers create pages even when inspiration feels absent. Leaders remain committed during pressure and criticism. They understand that greatness requires the ability to continue when comfort urges them to stop. One of the most important principles connected to discipline is delayed gratification. Delayed gratification is the willingness to sacrifice immediate pleasure in exchange for greater future rewards. It is one of the defining characteristics of successful people. Disciplined individuals understand that short-term discomfort often produces long-term success. Modern society constantly encourages instant gratification. People are surrounded by distractions, entertainment, convenience, and endless opportunities for temporary pleasure. Social media provides instant stimulation. Fast food offers immediate satisfaction. Streaming entertainment creates constant escape. While these things may provide temporary enjoyment, they can easily weaken discipline when consumed without balance. The problem with instant gratification is that it often steals the future in exchange for momentary comfort. Every time a person chooses procrastination over action, comfort over growth, or distraction over focus, they move farther away from their goals. Discipline requires the courage to resist what feels good now, in order to achieve something greater later. Consider the student who studies while others waste time. The sacrifice may feel difficult in the moment, but it creates future opportunities. Think about the athlete who trains daily, while others remain comfortable. The discipline eventually produces strength, endurance, and victory. Reflect on the entrepreneur who sacrifices sleep, comfort, and entertainment to build a vision. Over time, the results of discipline become visible. Delayed gratification is not about living without joy or pleasure. It is about understanding priorities. It is about recognizing that temporary discomfort often leads to lasting fulfillment. Disciplined people are willing to endure short-term struggle because they are focused on long-term purpose. Building discipline begins with small victories. Many people fail because they attempt dramatic transformation overnight. They set unrealistic expectations and become discouraged quickly. However, mental toughness is not built through giant leaps. It is built through small, consistent wins repeated daily. Every small promise you keep to yourself strengthens your confidence and discipline. Waking up when the alarm rings instead of pressing snooze may seem minor, but it builds self-control. Completing a workout despite tiredness strengthens mental resilience. Finishing important tasks before distractions creates momentum. Small wins train the mind to follow through consistently. Mental toughness grows every time you overcome resistance. The mind naturally seeks comfort and avoids difficulty. Discipline is developed when you choose action despite resistance. At first, these choices may feel uncomfortable, but over time they strengthen character and increase confidence. Every disciplined decision sends a message to yourself that you are capable of growth and control. One of the greatest rewards of discipline is self-respect. People who consistently break promises to themselves often struggle with confidence because deep down they no longer trust their own commitment. However, when individuals repeatedly follow through on their goals and responsibilities, they build self-trust. Confidence is not created only through success, it is created through consistency. Accountability also plays a major role in strengthening discipline. Human beings often perform better when they know someone else is aware of their commitments. Accountability creates responsibility and reduces the likelihood of quitting during difficult moments. This is why many successful people surround themselves with coaches, mentors, supportive friends, or communities that encourage growth and consistency. Accountability is powerful because it removes isolation. During difficult seasons, people are more likely to remain disciplined when others encourage them to continue. Honest feedback also helps individuals recognize weaknesses and areas for improvement. Sometimes people avoid accountability because they fear criticism, but growth often requires the humility to accept guidance and correction. Self-control is another essential part of discipline. Self-control is the ability to manage impulses, emotions, and behaviors in ways that support long-term goals. It means resisting distractions, avoiding destructive habits, and staying committed even when temptations arise. In today's world, self-control is constantly tested. Distractions are available everywhere. Entertainment competes endlessly for attention. Convenience often encourages laziness. Without self-control, People easily become trapped in cycles of procrastination and wasted potential. The good news is that self-control can be strengthened through practice. Like a muscle, it becomes stronger with consistent use. Every time you resist an unhealthy impulse or follow through on a positive habit, you strengthen your ability to remain disciplined in the future. One of the greatest enemies of discipline is procrastination. Procrastination is not simply laziness. Often it is rooted in fear, overwhelm, perfectionism, or discomfort. Many people delay important work because they fear failure or feel intimidated by the size of the task ahead. Others procrastinate because distractions offer easier and more immediate rewards. The danger of procrastination is that it slowly destroys confidence and momentum. Tasks left unfinished create stress and mental exhaustion. Opportunities are missed because action is delayed repeatedly. Dreams remain unrealized not because people lack ability, but because they keep postponing effort. Overcoming procrastination begins with taking immediate action, even if the step feels small. Action creates momentum, while delay strengthens resistance. The mind often exaggerates the difficulty of tasks before they begin. Once action starts, the resistance usually decreases. Perfectionism is another major cause of procrastination. Many people wait for the perfect moment, perfect conditions, or perfect confidence before taking action. However, perfection rarely exists. Growth comes through progress, not perfection. Disciplined people understand that imperfect action is far better than endless delay. Excuses also weaken discipline. Excuses may provide temporary comfort, but they prevent growth and responsibility. It is easy to blame circumstances, lack of time, difficult environments, or other people for lack of progress. Yet successful individuals refuse to remain trapped by excuses. They focus on what they can control, rather than what they cannot. Every person faces challenges and limitations. No journey is free from obstacles. However, disciplined people choose persistence over excuses. They understand that progress is still possible, even during difficult seasons. Instead of asking why something cannot be done, they ask what can be done with the resources and opportunities available. Creating non-negotiable habits is one of the most effective ways to strengthen discipline. Non-negotiable habits are routines that become firm commitments, regardless of mood or circumstances. These habits are treated as essential rather than optional. For example, a person may decide that daily exercise, reading, prayer, planning, or focused work time are non-negotiable parts of life. This mindset removes unnecessary internal debate. Instead of constantly deciding whether to follow through, the habit becomes part of personal identity and daily structure. Non-negotiable habits create stability and consistency. They reduce dependence on emotion, because action becomes automatic. Over time, these routines shape character and build powerful momentum. Many successful people rely heavily on rituals to strengthen discipline. Rituals create structure and reduce decision fatigue. Morning routines, evening reflection, exercise schedules, planning sessions, and focused work periods all reinforce disciplined living. For example, some high achievers begin every day with exercise because it immediately strengthens mental toughness and energy. Others journal or meditate to create emotional clarity and focus. Many schedule deep work sessions where distractions are eliminated completely. These rituals may appear simple, but their consistency creates extraordinary results over time. Rituals also help people maintain stability during stressful seasons. Life often becomes unpredictable, but disciplined routines create a sense of control and grounding. Even when circumstances become difficult, daily rituals provide structure that supports resilience and productivity. It is important to understand that discipline is not punishment. Many people associate discipline with restriction, pressure, or suffering. In reality, discipline creates freedom. It creates the freedom to achieve goals, maintain health, build confidence, and create meaningful success. Without discipline, people often become controlled by impulses, distractions, and temporary emotions. Discipline allows people to live intentionally instead of reactively. It helps individuals move beyond excuses and become the kind of person capable of handling greater responsibility and opportunity. While discipline may feel difficult in the moment, the consequences of indiscipline are often far more painful in the long run. There will be moments when discipline feels exhausting. Some days you will feel tired, discouraged, or unmotivated. During those moments, remember that growth is not built only during easy days. Character is revealed and strengthened during difficult ones. Every time you continue despite resistance, you become mentally stronger. You do not need to become perfect overnight. Discipline is developed gradually through daily choices. Start small. Focus on consistency rather than intensity. Build habits that support your goals and protect your focus. Learn to keep promises to yourself. Over time, these small disciplined actions will compound into massive transformation. Every great achievement is built on the foundation of discipline. Dreams become reality when consistent action replaces excuses. Success becomes possible when persistence continues beyond temporary emotion. The people who achieve extraordinary results are often not the most talented. They are the ones who continue showing up long after others stop trying. Your future depends not only on what you desire, but on what you repeatedly do. Discipline bridges the gap between goals and achievement. It carries you through difficult seasons and keeps you moving when motivation fades. Inside you is the ability to become stronger, more focused, and more resilient than you may currently believe. Every disciplined decision strengthens that ability. Every small victory builds confidence. Every moment of self-control shapes your future. Do not wait until you feel motivated to begin building the life you desire. Begin now. Take action today. Stay committed when progress feels slow. Trust the process of consistent effort. The habits you practice daily are shaping the person you are becoming. Discipline is not merely a skill. It is an advantage that separates dreamers from achievers. When you learn to master discipline, you gain the power to continue growing, producing, and succeeding no matter what obstacles stand in your path. Chapter 5: Health Habits for High Performance. Fueling the mind and body for success. Success is not built on ambition alone. It is sustained by energy, clarity, endurance, and resilience. Many people pursue their goals with passion and determination, yet neglect one of the most important foundations of lasting achievement: their health. They work tirelessly while ignoring exhaustion. They chase productivity while sacrificing sleep. They focus on external success while neglecting the very body and mind responsible for carrying them through life. The truth is simple but powerful. You cannot consistently perform at a high level if your health is constantly running at a low level. Your body is the vehicle that carries your dreams, and your mind is the engine that drives your decisions, creativity, and focus. When either is neglected, performance suffers. When both are strengthened intentionally, extraordinary growth becomes possible. Great achievers understand that health is not separate from success. It is deeply connected to it. Physical energy affects mental clarity. Emotional wellness influences productivity. Sleep impacts decision-making. Nutrition shapes focus and stamina. Exercise strengthens not only the body, but also discipline and emotional resilience. True high performance requires caring for the whole person. Unfortunately, many people adopt unhealthy definitions of success. They believe achievement requires constant exhaustion, endless hustle, and sacrificing well-being for productivity. They wear burnout like a badge of honor, and ignore warning signs from their bodies and minds. At first, this lifestyle may appear productive, but over time it creates fatigue, stress, emotional instability, and declining performance. Sustainable success is different. Sustainable success is built through balance, discipline, and intentional self-care. It recognizes that long-term achievement requires protecting your physical and mental strength. It understands that rest is not weakness, and that wellness is not laziness. Taking care of yourself is not a distraction from your goals. It is an essential part of reaching them. The connection between physical health and achievement is undeniable. When the body is healthy and energized, the mind performs better. Focus improves. Creativity increases. Confidence grows. Productivity becomes more sustainable. Physical wellness influences emotional stability and mental resilience, allowing people to handle stress and pressure more effectively. Think about the difference between starting the day feeling rested, energized, and mentally sharp, versus beginning the day exhausted, sluggish, and overwhelmed. The quality of your physical condition shapes the quality of your thoughts, decisions, and actions. A strong body supports a strong mind. One of the most overlooked habits in high performance is sleep. In a culture that glorifies overworking, many people treat sleep as optional. They stay awake late into the night, sacrifice rest to remain busy, and underestimate the impact of sleep deprivation on their lives. However, sleep is not wasted time. It is one of the most important forms of recovery and renewal. During sleep, the body repairs itself, the brain processes information, emotions stabilize, and energy is restored. Lack of sleep weakens concentration, reduces productivity, increases stress, and impairs decision-making. People who consistently neglect sleep often struggle with mood swings, irritability, low motivation, and mental fatigue without realizing the true cause. High achievers recognize that quality sleep is a performance tool. They understand that rest increases effectiveness. Many successful individuals protect their sleep routines carefully because they know that recovery fuels productivity. They create nighttime habits that help the body and mind prepare for deep rest. Healthy sleep routines often begin long before bedtime. Reducing screen time at night, limiting overstimulation, maintaining consistent sleep schedules, and creating calm evening rituals all contribute to better recovery. Evening reflection, reading, prayer, stretching, or meditation can help the mind relax and prepare for rest. These habits may seem simple, but they significantly influence physical and mental performance. Recovery extends beyond sleep alone. Many people push themselves continuously, without allowing time for emotional and mental restoration. Constant stress without recovery eventually leads to burnout. Burnout is more than physical exhaustion. It is emotional depletion, mental fatigue, and loss of motivation caused by prolonged imbalance. Burnout often develops gradually. At first, people may ignore the signs. They feel tired, but continue pushing harder. They become emotionally drained, yet refuse to slow down. Over time, enthusiasm disappears, focus weakens, and productivity declines. Tasks that once felt exciting begin feeling overwhelming. Without proper recovery, even highly motivated individuals eventually lose energy and passion. Managing stress effectively is essential for long-term success. Stress itself is not always harmful. In many cases, pressure can motivate growth and sharpen focus. However, chronic unmanaged stress damages both physical and emotional health. It weakens the immune system, increases anxiety, reduces concentration, and drains energy. This is why daily wellness rituals matter so deeply. Successful people often create habits that help them release stress consistently, instead of allowing pressure to accumulate endlessly. Exercise, meditation, prayer, journaling, deep breathing, spending time in nature, meaningful conversations, and moments of quiet reflection all help restore emotional balance. One of the most effective ways to manage stress is learning how to pause. Many people remain in constant motion, constantly consuming information, solving problems, and responding to demands without giving themselves time to breathe mentally. Stillness has become rare in modern life, yet it is often in stillness that clarity, peace, and renewal are found. Nutrition also plays a critical role in high performance. Food is more than comfort or convenience. It is fuel. What people consume directly affects their energy levels, focus, mood, and physical health. Poor nutrition often leads to sluggishness, brain fog, emotional instability, and fatigue, while healthy nutrition supports clarity, endurance, and vitality. Many people rely heavily on sugar, processed foods, caffeine, and unhealthy eating habits to maintain energy temporarily. While these may provide short bursts of stimulation, they often lead to energy crashes and decreased focus later. In contrast, balanced nutrition provides stable energy and supports long-term health. Great achievers often become intentional about what they eat because they understand that peak performance requires proper fuel. Drinking enough water, eating nutritious meals, reducing excessive processed foods, and maintaining balanced eating habits can dramatically improve productivity and mental clarity. Hydration alone is frequently underestimated. Even mild dehydration can affect concentration, mood, and physical performance. Drinking enough water consistently supports energy levels, cognitive function, and overall wellness. Simple habits, like starting the day with water and staying hydrated throughout the day, can create noticeable improvements in focus and vitality. Exercise is another foundational habit for high performance. Physical movement strengthens not only the body, but also the mind. Regular exercise increases energy, reduces stress, improves mood, boosts confidence, and sharpens mental focus. It teaches discipline, consistency, and resilience. Exercise also releases chemicals in the brain that improve emotional well-being and reduce anxiety. This is why many people feel mentally refreshed after physical activity. Movement helps clear mental clutter and restore emotional balance. The beauty of exercise is that it does not require perfection or extreme intensity to create benefits. Some people enjoy weight training, while others prefer running, yoga, swimming, walking, or sports. The key is consistency. Daily movement creates momentum and strengthens both physical and mental endurance over time. Many successful individuals prioritize exercise because they understand its connection to productivity and emotional resilience. Morning workouts often increase focus and energy for the rest of the day. Physical training also develops mental toughness by teaching individuals how to push beyond discomfort and remain committed during challenges. Wellness is not about appearance alone. It is about building a body and mind capable of supporting your goals and dreams. It is about creating the strength necessary to handle pressure, adversity, and responsibility effectively. At the same time, balance is essential. Ambition is powerful, but ambition without balance can become destructive. Some people become so consumed by achievement that they neglect relationships, emotional health, joy, and rest. Eventually, success loses meaning when health and inner peace disappear. Creating a balanced lifestyle does not mean abandoning ambition. It means pursuing goals wisely and sustainably. It means understanding that life is not a race to exhaustion. True success includes physical health, emotional well-being, meaningful relationships, and inner fulfillment. Balance also requires boundaries. Many people struggle because they never disconnect from work or responsibility. They constantly check emails, respond to notifications, and remain mentally engaged with stress. Over time, this creates emotional fatigue and weakens presence in other areas of life. Successful individuals often establish boundaries that protect their well-being. They create time for rest, family, reflection, hobbies, and recovery. They recognize that constant work without renewal eventually decreases effectiveness. Protecting wellness is not selfish, it is necessary for sustained excellence. Daily wellness rituals create stability and strength over time. Small healthy choices repeated consistently produce extraordinary results. Going to bed earlier, drinking more water, exercising regularly, eating nourishing foods, managing stress intentionally, and creating moments of recovery all compound into greater energy and resilience. Transformation rarely happens through one dramatic decision. It happens through daily habits practiced faithfully. Every healthy choice becomes an investment in your future self. Every act of self-care strengthens your ability to perform, lead, create, and grow. It is also important to understand that health is deeply connected to self-worth. Many people neglect themselves because they become so focused on external demands that they forget their own value. However, your body and mind deserve care and respect. Taking care of yourself is not weakness. It is wisdom. When you feel physically strong and mentally clear, your confidence grows. You approach challenges with greater energy and resilience. You become more present in relationships, more productive in work, and more capable of handling stress. Wellness strengthens every area of life. There will always be seasons of pressure, hard work, and sacrifice. Great achievements often require intense effort and commitment. However, those seasons should not destroy your health in the process. Sustainable success requires learning how to push forward while also protecting your well-being. You do not need to transform your health overnight. Begin with small, intentional habits. Prioritize sleep. Move your body consistently. Drink more water. Nourish yourself with healthier foods. Create moments of stillness and recovery. Reduce unnecessary stress where possible. Focus on progress rather than perfection. Remember that your body and mind are connected deeply. Every healthy decision strengthens not only your physical condition, but also your emotional resilience, mental clarity, and overall performance. The stronger you become internally, the greater your ability to achieve externally. Your goals require energy. Your dreams require endurance. Your purpose requires strength. Taking care of your health is one of the greatest investments you can make in your future success. You were not created merely to survive while exhausted and overwhelmed. You were created to thrive with strength, focus, vitality, and purpose. High performance is not about constantly pushing yourself until you collapse. It is about building the habits that allow you to grow consistently while maintaining balance and wellness. The quality of your life is deeply connected to the quality of your health habits. Every day, you are either strengthening your future or weakening it through the choices you make. Choose habits that fuel your body, sharpen your mind, and restore your spirit. When you care for yourself intentionally, you create the foundation for lasting success. You build the endurance needed to pursue your goals with passion and resilience. You develop the clarity to think better, the energy to perform better, and the emotional strength to overcome challenges. Success becomes far more meaningful when you are healthy enough to enjoy it. Chapter 6: Mindset Rituals for Growth. Training the mind for success and resilience. Every great transformation begins in the mind. Before success becomes visible in a person's life, it is first developed internally through thoughts, beliefs, attitudes, and perspective. The mind is powerful. It shapes decisions, influences habits, controls emotions, and determines how people respond to challenges. Long before a person changes their circumstances, they must first change the way they think. Many people focus heavily on external success, while ignoring the condition of their inner world. They chase goals, opportunities, and achievements, yet remain trapped by fear, self-doubt, negativity, or limiting beliefs. The truth is that external growth becomes difficult when internal thinking remains weak and defeated. Success requires more than talent and hard work. It requires a mindset strong enough to handle pressure, overcome obstacles, and continue growing through adversity. Mindset is the lens through which people interpret life. Two individuals can face the same challenge, yet respond completely differently because of the way they think. One person may see obstacles as proof that they are incapable, while another sees those same obstacles as opportunities to learn and grow. One may quit after failure, while the other becomes stronger because of it. The difference is often mindset. One of the most important distinctions in personal growth is the difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. A fixed mindset believes that abilities, intelligence, and potential are limited and unchangeable. People with this mindset often avoid challenges because they fear failure or criticism. They see mistakes as proof of weakness and become discouraged easily when progress feels difficult. A growth mindset is entirely different. It believes that abilities can be developed through learning, effort, persistence, and practice. People with a growth mindset understand that failure is not the end of the journey but part of the process of improvement. They embrace challenges because they recognize that growth often requires discomfort. Instead of seeing limitations as permanent, they view them as opportunities for development. This mindset changes everything. A person with a fixed mindset may say, "I am not good enough," while a person with a growth mindset says, "I am not there yet, but I can improve." One mindset creates fear and stagnation. The other creates resilience and possibility. Successful people often possess strong growth mindsets because they understand that mastery requires patience and continuous learning. They do not expect perfection immediately. They understand that progress takes time. Every setback becomes a lesson, every challenge becomes training, and every mistake becomes an opportunity to improve. The way people speak to themselves also plays a major role in shaping mindset. Many individuals underestimate the power of self-talk. The thoughts repeated consistently inside the mind eventually shape beliefs, emotions, confidence, and actions. Negative self-talk can slowly destroy motivation and self-worth without a person even realizing it. When people constantly tell themselves they are not capable, not smart enough, not talented enough, or not worthy of success, those thoughts begin influencing behavior. Fear grows stronger. Confidence weakens. Action becomes harder. Eventually, limiting beliefs become self-fulfilling prophecies. Positive self-talk is not about pretending life is perfect or ignoring challenges. It is about choosing thoughts that empower growth instead of reinforcing defeat. It means speaking to yourself with encouragement, patience, and belief rather than constant criticism. Successful people train themselves to think differently, especially during difficult moments. The mind absorbs repeated messages. If you repeatedly tell yourself that you are capable of growth, resilient during adversity, and able to learn from failure, your confidence gradually increases. Over time, empowering thoughts begin shaping identity and behavior. Belief influences action, and action creates results. Belief systems are incredibly powerful because people often live according to what they believe is possible. Someone who believes success is impossible may never fully pursue opportunities. Someone who believes growth is achievable becomes willing to work, learn, and persist. This is why changing your mindset can change the direction of your life. One of the most transformative mindset rituals is practicing gratitude. Gratitude shifts attention away from negativity and toward appreciation. In a world filled with comparison, stress, and constant pressure, gratitude creates emotional balance and perspective. It reminds people that even during difficult seasons, there is still value, growth, and blessing present in life. Many people spend so much time focusing on what they lack that they forget to appreciate what they already possess. They become trapped in dissatisfaction and comparison, constantly chasing more without recognizing current progress or blessings. Gratitude interrupts this pattern by training the mind to notice the positive. Practicing gratitude daily can improve emotional health, increase optimism, and reduce stress. It strengthens resilience because it helps people recognize hope, even during hardship. Gratitude does not deny pain or difficulty. Instead, it creates the ability to find meaning and appreciation despite challenges. Some people practice gratitude through journaling each morning or evening. Others reflect quietly on the people, opportunities, lessons, or experiences they appreciate. Even small moments of gratitude can shift emotional energy significantly. Over time, gratitude becomes a habit that changes perspective and strengthens inner peace. Visualization is another powerful ritual used by many successful individuals. Visualization involves mentally imagining yourself succeeding, growing, and overcoming challenges. It is the practice of seeing the future you desire before it becomes reality. Athletes, entrepreneurs, performers, and leaders often use visualization to prepare mentally for success. The mind responds strongly to repeated mental imagery. When people visualize themselves achieving goals, handling pressure confidently, or overcoming obstacles, they strengthen belief and emotional readiness. Visualization helps create focus and reinforces possibility. However, visualization alone is not enough. It must be combined with action and discipline. Simply imagining success without effort produces little change. The true power of visualization comes from aligning belief with consistent action. When people repeatedly see themselves growing and then take steps toward that vision daily, transformation becomes possible. One of the greatest mindset shifts a person can develop is learning how to reframe failure. Many people fear failure because they interpret it as proof of inadequacy. They see mistakes as personal defeat rather than part of growth. As a result, they avoid risks, stop trying, or quit too early. Successful people view failure differently. They understand that failure is feedback. Every mistake contains lessons, insight, and opportunities for improvement. Failure is often one of life's greatest teachers because it exposes weaknesses, increases wisdom, and builds resilience. Almost every successful person has experienced rejection, setbacks, disappointment, and failure before achieving success. Businesses fail before becoming profitable. Athletes lose competitions before winning championships. Writers face rejection before publishing books. Leaders make mistakes before developing wisdom. Failure is not evidence that growth is impossible. Often, it is evidence that growth is happening. Reframing failure changes emotional response. Instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" resilient individuals ask, "What can this teach me?" Instead of seeing setbacks as reasons to quit, they use them as opportunities to adapt and improve. This mindset creates emotional resilience. Emotional resilience is the ability to recover, adapt, and continue moving forward despite adversity. Life will always include challenges, disappointment, and unexpected obstacles. No one escapes hardship completely. What determines long-term success is often not the absence of difficulty, but the ability to remain strong through it. Resilient people are not emotionless. They feel pain, frustration, and disappointment like everyone else. However, they refuse to allow temporary setbacks to define their future. They process difficulties without surrendering to hopelessness. They understand that hard seasons are temporary, and that growth often emerges through struggle. Building resilience requires intentional mental habits. It requires learning how to control perspective during difficult moments. It means refusing to allow fear, negativity, or discouragement to dominate the mind completely. Resilience grows every time a person chooses persistence over surrender. Daily reflection practices can help strengthen emotional resilience and self-awareness. Reflection creates space to evaluate thoughts, emotions, decisions, and progress honestly. Without reflection, people often move through life unconsciously, repeating unhealthy patterns without recognizing them. Many successful individuals spend time each day reflecting on lessons learned, areas for improvement, and moments of gratitude. Reflection helps people recognize growth and make intentional adjustments. It also creates emotional clarity by allowing the mind to process experiences more deeply. Affirmations are another powerful tool for strengthening mindset. Affirmations are positive and intentional statements repeated consistently to reinforce empowering beliefs. While affirmations alone do not create success automatically, they help shape mental focus and identity when combined with action. For example, affirmations such as, "I am disciplined, I am capable of growth, I overcome challenges with strength," or "I am becoming the best version of myself," can gradually reshape internal dialogue. Repeated consistently, these statements begin influencing confidence, focus, and emotional energy. The key to effective affirmations is consistency and belief. Empty repetition, without emotional connection, has limited impact. However, when affirmations are spoken intentionally and reinforced through action, they become powerful reminders of possibility and purpose. Optimism is another defining quality of successful people, especially during difficult seasons. Optimism does not mean ignoring reality or pretending challenges do not exist. It means maintaining hope and belief despite adversity. Optimistic individuals focus on solutions instead of remaining trapped in negativity. Successful people often maintain optimism because they trust that setbacks are temporary and growth is possible. They understand that difficult moments do not determine final outcomes. Even under pressure, they search for lessons, opportunities, and ways to move forward. Pressure reveals mindset. During stressful moments, negative thinking can easily take control. Fear grows stronger. Doubt increases. Discouragement becomes tempting. This is why mindset rituals are so important. Daily practices such as gratitude, reflection, visualization, affirmations, and intentional self-talk strengthen mental resilience before difficult moments arrive. The mind must be trained consistently, just like the body. Negative thoughts will still appear occasionally. Challenges will still arise. However, people who develop strong mindset rituals become better equipped to handle adversity without losing hope or direction. It is important to understand that mindset transformation does not happen instantly. Years of limiting beliefs, fear, and negativity cannot always be changed overnight. Growth requires patience and repetition. The goal is not perfection but progress. Every positive thought practiced consistently weakens negative mental patterns over time. Your environment also influences mindset significantly. The people you spend time with, the content you consume, and the conversations you engage in all will affect your thinking. Negative environments often reinforce fear, doubt, and limitation, while positive environments encourage growth, possibility, and resilience. This is why successful individuals intentionally protect their minds. They surround themselves with people who inspire growth and accountability. They consume information that strengthens perspective and wisdom. They avoid constant negativity that weakens emotional energy. The quality of your thoughts shapes the quality of your life. If your mind becomes filled with fear, negativity, and limitation, your actions will reflect it. But when your thoughts become focused on growth, resilience, purpose, and possibility, your life begins changing from the inside out. Every day you are training your mind, whether you realize it or not. The question is whether your thoughts are strengthening you or weakening you. Are your beliefs moving you closer to growth or holding you back from your potential? Are you feeding your mind with hope and discipline, or allowing negativity to control your perspective? The most successful people in the world are not necessarily free from fear, failure, or pressure. They simply learn how to manage their minds differently. They train themselves to focus on growth instead of limitation, opportunity instead of fear, and resilience instead of defeat. You have the power to shape your mindset intentionally. You can choose thoughts that strengthen confidence, habits that build resilience, and perspectives that create growth. You can learn to rise above setbacks and continue moving forward with purpose. Your mind is one of your greatest assets. Protect it. Train it. Strengthen it daily. The way you think today is shaping the person you will become tomorrow. When you develop mindset rituals for growth, you build an inner foundation strong enough to support extraordinary success, lasting resilience, and meaningful transformation. Chapter 7: Productivity Systems That Work. Organizing your life for maximum efficiency. Success is rarely the result of working harder alone. Many people spend long hours staying busy, constantly moving from one task to another, yet they still feel overwhelmed, exhausted, and unproductive. Their days are filled with activity, but meaningful progress remains frustratingly slow. The problem is not always effort. Often the problem is a lack of structure, organization, and intentional systems. Highly successful people understand something powerful: productivity is not about doing everything. It is about doing the right things efficiently and consistently. They know that time is one of the most valuable resources in life, and they refuse to waste it on chaos, confusion, and unnecessary distractions. Instead of relying on memory, emotion, or random bursts of motivation, they build systems that create clarity, focus, and momentum. A productivity system is a structured way of organizing responsibilities, priorities, goals, and daily actions so that life becomes more efficient and less overwhelming. Systems remove unnecessary confusion. They simplify decision-making. They reduce stress and create consistency. Most importantly, they allow people to focus their energy on meaningful work instead of constantly reacting to chaos. Without systems, even talented and hard-working individuals can struggle. Tasks pile up. Deadlines become stressful. Important goals get neglected, while urgent distractions consume attention. Over time, disorganization creates frustration, mental fatigue, and burnout. However, when effective systems are in place, life begins to feel more manageable and intentional. One of the most important productivity habits used by high achievers is planning. Planning is not wasted time. It is preparation for effective action. Many people start their days without direction, hoping they will somehow become productive as the day unfolds. As a result, they spend valuable time deciding what to do, reacting to interruptions, and constantly shifting priorities. Successful people approach life differently. They understand that clarity creates efficiency. Planning allows them to enter each day with purpose instead of confusion. It helps them focus on what matters most, while reducing unnecessary stress and wasted energy. Planning rituals are common among high performers because they create mental organization and structure. Many successful individuals begin their mornings by reviewing priorities, scheduling important tasks, and identifying key objectives for the day. Others plan the night before, so they can wake up with clarity and direction already established. Planning creates confidence because it reduces uncertainty. When people know what needs to be done and when it needs to happen, they become less likely to procrastinate or feel overwhelmed. Instead of carrying endless mental clutter throughout the day, they rely on organized systems that free the mind to focus on execution. One of the simplest yet most powerful productivity tools is the to-do list. However, not all to-do lists are effective. Many people create overwhelming lists filled with dozens of tasks, leaving them discouraged before they even begin. Long disorganized lists often create stress instead of productivity. Effective to-do lists prioritize clarity and importance. Successful individuals focus on identifying the most meaningful tasks rather than attempting to do everything at once. They understand that productivity is not measured by how many tasks are completed, but by how much meaningful progress is made. A productive to-do list often begins with identifying a few high-impact priorities. These are the tasks that create the greatest progress toward goals and responsibilities. By focusing attention on what truly matters, people avoid wasting energy on minor distractions that produce little value. Many high achievers also use weekly reviews as part of their productivity systems. A weekly review is a time set aside to reflect on progress, evaluate priorities, and prepare for the upcoming week. This practice creates awareness and helps individuals stay aligned with long-term goals instead of becoming lost in daily distractions. Weekly reviews allow people to celebrate progress, identify areas for improvement, and adjust plans when necessary. They create space for reflection and intentional thinking. Without regular reflection, many people remain trapped in cycles of busyness without ever evaluating whether their actions are truly effective. One of the greatest advantages of productivity systems is that they reduce mental overload. The human mind is not designed to remember every task, appointment, responsibility, and idea constantly. Trying to manage everything mentally creates stress and increases the likelihood of forgetting important details. Systems provide external structure that frees mental energy for deeper thinking and creativity. Another highly effective productivity strategy is batching. Batching involves grouping similar tasks together and completing them during dedicated periods of time. This approach increases efficiency because it reduces the mental energy lost through constant task switching. For example, instead of checking emails throughout the entire day, a person may schedule specific times for responding to messages. Instead of constantly shifting between creative work, phone calls, meetings, and administrative tasks, similar activities are grouped together. This creates deeper focus and improves concentration. Batching works because the brain performs better when it remains focused on one type of activity at a time. Constant switching weakens attention and reduces productivity. When tasks are organized intentionally, the mind can operate more efficiently and with less fatigue. Automation is another powerful principle used by productive individuals. Automation involves creating systems that reduce repetitive effort and simplify daily responsibilities. Many successful people automate decisions, routines, and processes whenever possible in order to conserve energy for more important work. Simple forms of automation may include setting recurring reminders, creating morning and evening routines, organizing schedules consistently, or preparing meals in advance. Businesses often automate repetitive processes to save time and increase efficiency. The purpose of automation is not to eliminate effort entirely, but to remove unnecessary complexity. One of the most transformative productivity principles is the 80-20 rule, also known as the Pareto principle. This principle suggests that a small percentage of actions often produce the majority of results. In many cases, 20% of efforts create 80% of outcomes. This principle teaches an important lesson about priorities. Not every task carries equal value. Some activities create major progress, while others consume time without producing meaningful results. Successful individuals learn to identify the actions that create the greatest impact and focus their energy there. For example, in business, a small percentage of clients may generate the majority of income. In personal growth, a few consistent habits may create the greatest transformation. In productivity, a handful of focused tasks may accomplish more than dozens of minor activities. Understanding this principle helps people stop wasting energy on low-value distractions. It encourages intentional thinking and disciplined focus. Instead of trying to do everything, productive individuals concentrate on the activities that matter most. Tracking progress is another critical part of effective productivity systems. What gets measured often improves because tracking creates awareness and accountability. Many people fail to achieve goals because they never evaluate their progress consistently. Without measurement, it becomes difficult to identify growth, weaknesses, or necessary adjustments. Tracking does not need to be complicated. Some people use journals, planners, digital tools, calendars, or habit trackers to monitor progress. Others review goals weekly or monthly to evaluate consistency and results. The purpose is to create visibility and maintain momentum. Tracking progress also increases motivation because it provides evidence of growth. Many people become discouraged because they focus only on how far they still need to go, instead of recognizing how far they have already come. Measuring progress helps people appreciate improvement and stay encouraged during long journeys. One of the greatest obstacles to productivity is overwhelm. Modern life often feels overloaded with responsibilities, distractions, and endless demands for attention. Many people become mentally exhausted, not because they lack ability, but because they are trying to carry too much at once. Overwhelm often leads to procrastination. When tasks feel too large or complicated, people avoid them completely. Stress increases, confidence decreases, and productivity slows down. This is why simplification is essential. Successful people understand the importance of breaking large goals into manageable steps. Instead of focusing only on the entire journey, they concentrate on completing one important action at a time. Progress becomes less intimidating when broken into smaller pieces. Decision fatigue is another major challenge in modern life. Every decision requires mental energy. Throughout the day, people make countless choices about work, schedules, food, responsibilities, communication, and priorities. Over time, constant decision-making drains focus and weakens productivity. This is why productive individuals often reduce unnecessary decisions through routines and systems. They create structure that minimizes mental clutter. Morning routines, meal planning, scheduled work periods, and organized calendars all reduce decision fatigue by creating consistency. Many successful people wear similar styles of clothing daily, eat consistent meals, or follow structured schedules because they understand the value of conserving mental energy for more important decisions. Simplicity creates clarity. Designing systems that simplify life and work requires intentionality. It involves identifying unnecessary complexity and replacing it with structure. The goal is not rigid perfection but sustainable organization. Systems should support life, not create additional pressure. A well-designed system aligns with personal goals, responsibilities, and values. It creates efficiency, while still allowing flexibility when needed. Productivity systems are most effective when they become part of daily routines rather than temporary experiments. For example, a person may create a simple morning planning ritual where they identify their top priorities before beginning the day. Another may establish a weekly review every Sunday evening to organize responsibilities and prepare mentally for the upcoming week. Others may use time blocking, digital calendars, or task management tools to create structure. The specific methods matter less than consistency. A simple system practiced consistently is far more effective than a complicated system abandoned quickly. Productivity is not about perfection. It is about creating habits and structures that support growth and reduce unnecessary stress. It is also important to remember that productivity should serve purpose, not become an obsession. Some people become so focused on efficiency that they forget the deeper reason behind their work and goals. True productivity is not merely about accomplishing more tasks. It is about creating a meaningful life aligned with purpose, values, and growth. Rest, relationships, health, and emotional well-being remain important. Productivity should enhance life, not destroy balance. Effective systems create space not only for work, but also for recovery, reflection, joy, and connection. Highly productive individuals understand the importance of protecting their energy, as well as their time. They know that constant busyness without recovery eventually reduces effectiveness. This is why many successful people schedule breaks, exercise, reflection, and downtime intentionally. They understand that sustainable productivity requires balance. One of the greatest benefits of strong productivity systems is peace of mind. When life becomes organized, the mind becomes calmer. Clarity replaces chaos. Purpose replaces confusion. Confidence increases because people know they are moving intentionally toward meaningful goals. You do not need to transform your entire life overnight to become more productive. Begin with small systems. Create a daily plan. Prioritize important tasks. Review your week regularly. Reduce unnecessary distractions. Simplify routines where possible. Focus on consistency instead of perfection. Remember that systems shape outcomes. Your daily structure influences your focus, energy, productivity, and growth. Every organized habit becomes an investment in a more intentional future. The people who achieve extraordinary results are often not those with the most talent or resources. They are the ones who learn how to manage their time, energy, and attention effectively. They understand that success is built through consistent action, supported by strong systems. Your life becomes easier when you stop relying on memory, emotion, and chaos to guide your days. Productivity systems create order where confusion once existed. They help you move through life with greater focus, confidence, and purpose. You have the ability to organize your life in ways that support your goals, instead of working against them. You can create routines that strengthen productivity, habits that simplify responsibilities, and systems that reduce overwhelm. Every small improvement in organization creates greater clarity and momentum. Over time, those improvements compound into extraordinary efficiency and growth. When you build productivity systems that truly work, you stop merely surviving busy days and begin intentionally creating a life of purpose, progress, and lasting success. Chapter 8: Lifelong Learning and Personal Growth. The Daily Habits of Continuous Improvement. One of the greatest differences between average people and extraordinary achievers is their commitment to continuous growth. Successful people understand a truth that changes the direction of their lives: growth never ends. The moment a person believes they know enough, have achieved enough, or no longer need to improve, progress begins to slow. Life rewards those who remain teachable, curious, adaptable, and hungry for knowledge. The world changes constantly. Industries evolve. Technology advances. Opportunities shift. New challenges emerge every day. People who stop learning often become stuck in old ways of thinking while the world moves forward around them. In contrast, those who embrace lifelong learning continue expanding their abilities, perspectives, and opportunities throughout every stage of life. Lifelong learning is not limited to classrooms, degrees, or formal education. It is a mindset. It is the decision to remain committed to growth, no matter how much success has already been achieved. It is the understanding that every experience, every challenge, every conversation, and every season of life contains lessons that can shape wisdom and character. Highly successful people never stop learning because they recognize that growth creates possibility. They know that every new skill learned increases their value. Every lesson understood improves their judgment. Every new perspective strengthens their ability to adapt and succeed. They understand that personal growth is one of the greatest investments a person can make, because no one can take knowledge, wisdom, or experience away from them. Many people mistakenly believe that success creates growth. In reality, growth often creates success. Before people achieve externally, they must first develop internally. The habits, knowledge, discipline, mindset, and emotional intelligence they build behind the scenes eventually shape their results in the visible world. Continuous learning also creates confidence. When people invest in improving themselves consistently, they become better equipped to handle challenges and opportunities. Knowledge reduces fear because preparation increases belief. A person who continues learning feels more capable of adapting to change and overcoming obstacles. One of the most powerful habits of lifelong learners is reading. Reading has the ability to expand the mind, increase understanding, strengthen creativity, and expose people to ideas far beyond their current experiences. Books contain the wisdom, lessons, failures, and insights of people who have spent years developing knowledge in specific areas. Through reading, individuals can learn from mentors they may never meet personally. Many of the world's greatest leaders, entrepreneurs, athletes, and innovators are dedicated readers. They understand that reading sharpens the mind and strengthens perspective. While others spend hours consuming endless entertainment and distractions, successful individuals often dedicate time daily to learning and personal development. Reading does not only increase knowledge. It transforms thinking. It introduces new possibilities and challenges limiting beliefs. It strengthens communication skills and improves focus. Most importantly, it develops the habit of intentional growth. The type of material a person consumes matters greatly. Inspirational books can strengthen mindset and motivation. Educational books develop skills and understanding. Biographies teach lessons through real-life experiences. Spiritual and philosophical writings deepen wisdom and reflection. Every meaningful piece of information absorbed becomes part of the foundation upon which future decisions are built. Studying and skill development are equally important. The modern world rewards people who continue improving their abilities. Those who remain committed to learning often become more adaptable, valuable, and prepared for new opportunities. Skill development requires intentional practice. It is not enough to admire success from a distance. Growth happens when knowledge is applied consistently. Whether someone wants to improve communication, leadership, business skills, creativity, financial understanding, or emotional intelligence, progress requires dedication and repetition. Many people fail to grow because they consume information endlessly without taking action. They read books, watch videos, attend seminars, and gather inspiration, yet never apply what they learn. Knowledge without action creates little transformation. True growth occurs when learning becomes behavior. Successful people understand the importance of implementation. After learning something valuable, they ask themselves how they can apply it immediately. They experiment, practice, and refine their abilities over time. This process of learning and applying creates mastery. Learning from mentors and coaches can dramatically accelerate growth. One of the fastest ways to improve is by learning from individuals who have already achieved success in areas you desire to grow. Mentors provide wisdom, guidance, perspective, and accountability that can help people avoid unnecessary mistakes and remain focused on meaningful progress. Many successful individuals credit mentors for helping shape their mindset, decisions, and direction. A mentor does not simply provide answers. They challenge thinking, encourage growth, and offer perspective gained through experience. Coaches, teachers, and advisors often help people see blind spots they would not recognize on their own. Learning from others requires humility. Pride often prevents growth because people become unwilling to admit they still have more to learn. However, teachable individuals understand that wisdom grows when ego decreases. They ask questions, seek feedback, and remain open to correction and guidance. Life itself is also one of the greatest teachers. Every experience contains lessons for those willing to pay attention. Challenges teach resilience. Failure teaches wisdom. Relationships teach communication and empathy. Success teaches responsibility. Difficult seasons often produce the deepest growth because they force people to develop strength and perspective. Some of life's greatest lessons are learned through pain and adversity. While struggles may feel uncomfortable in the moment, they often reveal hidden strengths and create maturity. People who embrace growth learn to extract wisdom from every season instead of becoming trapped by bitterness or regret. Curiosity is another defining trait of lifelong learners. Curious people constantly ask questions, explore ideas, and seek understanding. They do not settle for surface-level thinking. They remain interested in learning about the world, people, and possibilities around them. Curiosity keeps the mind active and engaged. It fuels creativity and innovation. Curious individuals often discover opportunities others overlook because they remain open to learning and exploring new perspectives. In contrast, closed-minded thinking limits growth. People who believe they already know everything often stop improving. They resist change, reject new ideas, and become trapped in outdated thinking. Growth requires the willingness to remain curious, even after achieving success. Adaptability is closely connected to curiosity. In a rapidly changing world, the ability to adapt is essential for long-term success. People who refuse to learn new skills or adjust to change often struggle when circumstances shift. Adaptable individuals remain flexible and willing to evolve. Successful people understand that growth requires change. They do not cling stubbornly to comfort zones or old habits that no longer serve them. Instead, they embrace learning as a lifelong process that helps them remain prepared for new challenges and opportunities. Reflection is another essential practice in personal growth. Without reflection, people often repeat the same mistakes and remain unaware of areas needing improvement. Reflection creates self-awareness, and self-awareness is one of the foundations of transformation. Many high achievers spend time reflecting on their experiences, decisions, habits, and progress regularly. They evaluate what is working well and what needs adjustment. Reflection helps people learn from both successes and failures. Self-assessment is not about harsh self-criticism. It is about honest evaluation. Growth requires recognizing weaknesses without allowing those weaknesses to define identity. Successful individuals are willing to examine themselves honestly because they understand that awareness creates opportunity for improvement. Journaling is one of the most effective reflection practices. Writing thoughts, lessons, goals, and observations helps organize thinking and deepen understanding. Journaling creates clarity by allowing people to process emotions, identify patterns, and track growth over time. Some people reflect through quiet meditation or prayer. Others review their day each evening, asking what they learned, where they succeeded, and what they could improve. The method matters less than the habit itself. Reflection creates intentional living instead of unconscious repetition. Turning knowledge into action is where true transformation happens. Many people become trapped in endless preparation. They wait until they feel completely ready before taking action. However, growth often happens through action itself. Confidence increases through experience, not endless waiting. Learning without action eventually becomes wasted potential. A person may understand countless principles about success, discipline, health, or productivity, but if those principles are never practiced, life remains unchanged. Action bridges the gap between information and transformation. Successful people are not perfect because they know more than everyone else. Often, they simply apply what they know more consistently. They take lessons seriously and integrate them into daily life. They understand that small improvements practiced consistently create extraordinary results over time. Personal growth plans can help individuals remain intentional about development. Without direction, growth often becomes random and inconsistent. A personal growth plan creates clarity by identifying areas for improvement, goals for learning, and habits that support development. A strong growth plan begins with self-awareness. It requires identifying strengths, weaknesses, goals, and areas that need attention. Some people may want to improve leadership skills. Others may focus on emotional intelligence, financial knowledge, communication, discipline, or spiritual growth. Once areas of focus are identified, intentional habits can be created to support development. Reading daily, listening to educational material, practicing new skills, attending courses, seeking mentorship, and reflecting regularly all contribute to continuous improvement. The key is consistency. Small daily investments in growth compound over time. Just as unhealthy habits gradually weaken life, growth habits gradually strengthen it. Every page read, every lesson learned, every skill practiced, and every moment of reflection contributes to becoming a stronger and wiser person. It is also important to remain patient with the process. Personal growth is not always immediately visible. Sometimes progress feels slow and frustrating. However, transformation often happens quietly beneath the surface before becoming noticeable externally. Consider how a tree grows. Long before its branches become visible above the ground, roots are developing beneath the surface. In the same way, personal growth often begins internally before producing visible external results. Discipline, wisdom, confidence, resilience, and skill development take time to mature. There will be moments when growth feels uncomfortable. Learning often requires confronting weaknesses, leaving comfort zones, and facing unfamiliar challenges. However, discomfort is frequently a sign of expansion. Every new level of growth requires becoming willing to stretch beyond old limitations. The people who achieve extraordinary things are not necessarily those born with the greatest advantages. They are often the individuals who remain committed to learning, adapting, and improving consistently over time. They never allow past success to become an excuse for future stagnation. Your future is shaped by what you repeatedly learn, practice, and apply. Every day you are either growing intentionally or remaining stagnant. The habits you build today are shaping the person you will become tomorrow. You do not need to know everything to begin growing. Start where you are. Read consistently. Learn from others. Reflect honestly. Stay curious. Practice new skills. Apply what you learn. Commit to becoming slightly better every single day. Remember that personal growth is not a destination. It is a lifelong journey. There will always be new lessons to learn, new strengths to develop, and new levels of wisdom to reach. The goal is not perfection but continuous improvement. Inside you is incredible potential waiting to be developed. The more you invest in your mind, character, skills, and perspective, the more capable you become of handling greater opportunities and responsibilities. Never stop learning. Never stop growing. Never become so comfortable that you stop challenging yourself to improve. The person you are becoming is shaped by the habits of learning and growth you practice daily. When you embrace lifelong learning and personal development, you unlock the ability to evolve continually into a wiser, stronger, more capable version of yourself. Chapter 9: Relationships and Social Habits. How great achievers build meaningful connections. Success is rarely achieved alone. Behind every great leader, entrepreneur, athlete, creator, or visionary are relationships that influenced, supported, challenged, and strengthened their journey. Human beings are created for connection. No matter how talented, disciplined, or ambitious a person may be, relationships remain one of the most powerful forces shaping personal growth, emotional well-being, and long-term success. Many people focus heavily on productivity, discipline, and achievement, while neglecting the quality of their relationships. They pursue goals relentlessly, but forget that meaningful success is not only measured by accomplishments. It is also measured by the quality of connections built along the way. A life filled with achievement but lacking meaningful relationships often feels empty despite external success. Great achievers understand that relationships matter deeply. They recognize that the people surrounding them influence their mindset, habits, confidence, opportunities, and emotional health. Supportive relationships can inspire growth, provide encouragement during difficult seasons, and create opportunities that might otherwise never appear. Negative relationships, however, can drain energy, weaken focus, and limit potential. The people you spend time with influence the direction of your life more than you may realize. Conversations shape perspective. Environments influence behavior. Emotional energy spreads from person to person. This is why successful individuals intentionally build relationships that align with growth, purpose, integrity, and positivity. At the center of every strong relationship is communication. Communication is far more than speaking. It is the ability to express thoughts clearly, listen deeply, understand emotions, and create genuine connection with others. Strong communication builds trust, reduces conflict, and strengthens relationships in every area of life. Many people underestimate how much their words and tone influence relationships. Communication has the power to encourage or discourage, heal or hurt, inspire or destroy. Great achievers often become intentional communicators because they understand that leadership, influence, and connection all depend heavily on the ability to communicate effectively. One of the most important aspects of communication is emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is the ability to understand, manage, and respond wisely to emotions, both in yourself and in others. It involves self-awareness, empathy, emotional control, and social awareness. People with high emotional intelligence often build stronger relationships because they know how to navigate conversations with wisdom and sensitivity. They listen carefully, instead of reacting impulsively. They remain calm during difficult situations. They recognize emotional needs and communicate with empathy rather than arrogance. Emotional intelligence also strengthens leadership. Great leaders understand that people are not machines. Every person carries emotions, fears, dreams, struggles, and insecurities. Leaders who communicate with empathy and emotional awareness often inspire greater trust, loyalty, and connection. Daily habits play a powerful role in strengthening relationships. Healthy relationships are rarely built through occasional grand gestures alone. More often, they are strengthened through small, consistent actions repeated over time. A simple message of encouragement, a thoughtful conversation, active listening, expressions of appreciation, and intentional presence all contribute to deeper connection. One of the greatest gifts people can offer each other is attention. In a world filled with distractions, giving someone your full presence has become increasingly rare and valuable. Many conversations today are interrupted constantly by phones, notifications, or divided attention. As a result, people often feel unheard and disconnected even when physically together. Successful people who value relationships often practice intentional presence. They listen carefully during conversations. They maintain eye contact. They engage genuinely, instead of multitasking mentally or digitally. This habit strengthens trust and creates deeper emotional connection. Appreciation is another important relationship habit. Many relationships weaken because people begin taking each other for granted. Gratitude and appreciation often fade with familiarity. Yet everyone desires to feel valued, respected, and recognized. Simple words of encouragement and gratitude can strengthen relationships significantly. Thanking someone sincerely, acknowledging their efforts, or expressing appreciation for their presence creates emotional connection and trust. People remember how others make them feel, and appreciation has the power to strengthen bonds deeply. Networking is another important part of personal and professional growth, but true networking is often misunderstood. Many people approach networking selfishly, focusing only on what they can gain from others. However, meaningful connections are built through authenticity, generosity, and value. Successful people understand that relationships are not transactions. Genuine networking is about building trust, contributing value, and creating mutually beneficial connections over time. Authentic people leave stronger impressions because they approach relationships with sincerity rather than manipulation. Adding value to others is one of the most powerful ways to build meaningful connections. This may involve sharing knowledge, offering support, providing encouragement, solving problems, or helping others grow. People naturally gravitate toward those who contribute positively to their lives. Authenticity also matters greatly. Pretending to be someone you are not in order to impress others creates shallow connections that rarely last. True confidence comes from being genuine. Successful individuals often build strong networks because they lead with integrity and sincerity rather than performance. At the same time, healthy relationships require boundaries. Not every relationship contributes positively to growth and well-being. Some people constantly spread negativity, criticism, manipulation, or emotional exhaustion. Toxic influences can slowly drain confidence, focus, peace, and motivation. Setting boundaries is not about arrogance or rejecting people carelessly. It is about protecting emotional health and personal growth. Successful individuals understand that environment matters deeply, and they become intentional about who they allow to influence their lives closely. Negative relationships often create distraction and emotional fatigue. Constant criticism, drama, dishonesty, or disrespect can weaken emotional resilience and shift attention away from meaningful goals. Boundaries help create healthier environments where growth and peace become possible. Sometimes boundaries involve limiting time spent around toxic influences. Other times they require learning how to say no without guilt. Many people struggle with boundaries because they fear disappointing others or appearing selfish. However, constantly sacrificing emotional well-being for unhealthy relationships eventually creates resentment and exhaustion. Healthy boundaries protect energy, focus, and emotional stability. They create space for stronger and more supportive relationships to grow. Successful people understand that protecting their peace is not selfish. It is necessary for maintaining emotional health and purposeful living. Listening is one of the most underrated relationship skills in the world. Many people listen only long enough to respond, rather than truly understand. Conversations become focused on personal opinions instead of genuine connection. As a result, many individuals feel unseen and unheard. Great achievers often become excellent listeners because they understand the value of understanding others deeply. Listening creates trust. It reveals wisdom, perspective, and emotional needs that may otherwise remain hidden. When people feel genuinely heard, relationships strengthen naturally. Empathy is closely connected to listening. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another person. It allows people to connect emotionally instead of responding with judgment or indifference. Empathy creates compassion and strengthens relationships during difficult moments. Successful people often practice empathy intentionally because they recognize that everyone is fighting battles others may not fully see. Kindness, patience, and understanding create emotional safety and trust. Relationships become stronger when people feel accepted and supported instead of constantly criticized or misunderstood. The environment surrounding a person influences both emotional health and success. This is why great achievers intentionally create supportive environments. They surround themselves with people who encourage growth, accountability, integrity, and positivity. Supportive relationships provide strength during difficult seasons. They offer encouragement when motivation fades, and perspective when challenges feel overwhelming. Strong relationships remind people that they are not alone in their journey. Successful individuals also understand the importance of contributing positively to the environments they enter. Instead of constantly draining energy from others, they strive to bring encouragement, solutions, wisdom, and positivity into relationships and communities. Family relationships are especially important because they often form the emotional foundation of life. While no family is perfect, investing intentionally in family relationships creates deeper connection, trust, and emotional support. Simple rituals such as shared meals, meaningful conversations, quality time, and expressions of appreciation can strengthen family bonds significantly. Friendships also require intentional care. Many friendships fade not because of conflict, but because of neglect. Busy schedules and responsibilities often cause people to stop investing in meaningful connection. Yet strong friendships provide emotional support, encouragement, joy, and perspective throughout life. Successful individuals often prioritize maintaining relationships despite busy schedules because they understand the importance of emotional connection and support. They make time for meaningful conversations, shared experiences, and intentional presence. Leadership growth is also deeply connected to relationships. Great leaders influence people not through authority alone, but through trust, character, empathy, and communication. Leadership is ultimately about people. Those who fail to connect with others emotionally often struggle to inspire and influence effectively. Strong leaders develop relationship rituals that strengthen trust and communication. They check in with people regularly. They listen carefully. They encourage growth in others. They create environments where people feel respected and valued. Leadership also requires humility. Arrogance destroys connection, while humility creates openness and trust. Successful leaders understand that leadership is not about controlling people, but about serving, guiding, and empowering them. One of the most important truths about relationships is that they require effort and intentionality. Meaningful connections do not grow automatically. Like every valuable part of life, relationships must be nurtured consistently. This requires patience, because relationships are not always easy. Misunderstandings, disagreements, disappointments, and challenges are inevitable. However, strong relationships survive because people choose communication, forgiveness, understanding, and commitment, instead of pride and avoidance. Forgiveness is especially important. Holding on to bitterness and resentment weakens emotional health and damages relationships. Forgiveness does not mean excusing harmful behavior or ignoring boundaries. It means releasing the emotional burden of anger, so healing and peace become possible. Great achievers often understand the importance of emotional maturity in relationships. They learn how to communicate during conflict, apologize sincerely when necessary, and prioritize growth over ego. Emotional maturity strengthens every area of life, because relationships influence emotional stability, mental health, and personal fulfillment deeply. It is also important to remember that your relationship with yourself affects every other relationship you build. People who lack self-respect, self-awareness, or emotional healing often struggle to build healthy connections consistently. Personal growth and emotional health create stronger foundations for meaningful relationships. Every day presents opportunities to strengthen the connections around you. A kind word, genuine attention, thoughtful encouragement, or meaningful conversation may seem small, but these moments often create lasting impact. Relationships are built through daily habits of care, respect, and intentional presence. You do not need thousands of relationships to live a meaningful life. What matters most is the depth, quality, and authenticity of the connections you build. A few strong, supportive, and genuine relationships can transform your emotional well-being, confidence, and growth. Success becomes far more meaningful when shared with people who genuinely care about you. Achievement feels more fulfilling when relationships remain healthy and strong. True greatness is not only about what you accomplish personally, but also about how you impact and uplift the people around you. The people you connect with today may influence your future in ways you cannot yet imagine. Some relationships will challenge you to grow. Others will encourage you during difficult seasons. Some will inspire you to become better. These connections shape your life more deeply than material success ever could. Choose to build relationships intentionally. Communicate with wisdom and empathy. Listen deeply. Protect your peace with healthy boundaries. Surround yourself with people who strengthen your vision and values. Invest time and care into the people who matter most. When you build meaningful relationships and healthy social habits, you create a life filled not only with success, but also with connection, support, purpose, and lasting fulfillment. Chapter 10: Designing Your Success Lifestyle. Creating rituals that last for life. Success is not a single moment. It is not one achievement, one breakthrough, one promotion, or one lucky opportunity. True success is a lifestyle. It is the result of daily choices, repeated habits, intentional routines, and consistent growth practiced over time. The people who build extraordinary lives are rarely those who rely on temporary motivation or short bursts of effort. They are the individuals who create systems and rituals that support lasting transformation. Many people approach personal growth with excitement at the beginning, but struggle to maintain consistency. They set ambitious goals, create detailed plans, and feel highly motivated for a short period of time. Yet when challenges appear or enthusiasm fades, old habits slowly return. This cycle of starting and stopping creates frustration and discouragement. The key to lasting transformation is not intensity alone. It is sustainability. Long-term success comes from creating habits and routines that become part of your identity and daily lifestyle. When healthy rituals become integrated into the way you live, growth stops feeling temporary and begins becoming permanent. Designing a success lifestyle means intentionally shaping your days around habits, values, and systems that support the person you want to become. It means understanding that your future is built through repeated actions, not occasional inspiration. Every routine you practice is either strengthening your growth or weakening it. One of the most important lessons in personal development is that small habits matter more than many people realize. Tiny daily actions may seem insignificant in the moment, but over time they compound into massive transformation. A few pages read each day eventually become books completed and wisdom gained. Daily exercise creates long-term strength and energy. Consistent focus and discipline gradually build extraordinary results. The opposite is also true. Small negative habits repeated consistently can slowly weaken progress and potential. Procrastination, distractions, unhealthy routines, and negative thinking may appear harmless temporarily, but over time they create patterns that shape life in destructive ways. This is why intentional habit design matters so deeply. Every habit is casting a vote for the kind of person you are becoming. The rituals you repeat daily eventually shape your identity, mindset, and future. Creating habits that stick permanently requires understanding how habits are formed. Habits are strengthened through repetition and consistency. The more frequently a behavior is repeated, the more natural it becomes. Over time, actions that once required effort begin feeling automatic. However, many people fail because they attempt extreme change too quickly. They create unrealistic expectations and overwhelming routines that become impossible to sustain long-term. Lasting change is usually built gradually. Small, consistent improvements often create greater results than dramatic but temporary effort. Successful individuals understand the importance of starting simple. They focus on creating routines that are realistic enough to maintain consistently. Instead of trying to transform every area of life at once, they build one strong habit at a time. As consistency increases, momentum grows naturally. Identity also plays a major role in creating lasting habits. Many people focus only on external results, while ignoring the importance of internal identity. They ask, "What do I want to achieve?" instead of asking, "Who do I want to become?" Lasting habits are strengthened when they align with identity. For example, a person who says, "I am becoming a disciplined person," is more likely to maintain consistent habits than someone who simply wants temporary motivation. Identity-based habits create deeper commitment because they become connected to self-image. Every time you follow through on a positive habit, you reinforce the belief that you are capable, disciplined, and committed to growth. Over time, these repeated actions strengthen identity and confidence. Transformation becomes more sustainable because you are no longer merely trying to achieve success. You are becoming the type of person who naturally lives that way. At the same time, it is important to understand that life is constantly changing. Seasons shift. Responsibilities evolve. Unexpected challenges appear. A routine that works perfectly during one season of life may need adjustment during another. This is why adaptability is essential for long-term success. Many people become discouraged when life disruptions interrupt their routines. They experience schedule changes, stress, family responsibilities, setbacks, or unexpected obstacles, and assume they have failed completely. However, successful individuals understand that flexibility is part of growth. Adapting routines during difficult seasons does not mean abandoning growth entirely. It means learning how to adjust while maintaining core principles and priorities. Some seasons may require simpler routines, reduced intensity, or different strategies. What matters most is remaining committed to progress rather than perfection. For example, a person who cannot complete a full workout during a stressful season may still choose to walk daily or practice shorter exercises. Someone overwhelmed with responsibilities may reduce goals temporarily, while maintaining consistency in key habits. Adaptability allows growth to continue even when circumstances change. Perfectionism is one of the greatest enemies of sustainable success. Many people become trapped in unrealistic expectations, believing they must perform perfectly in order to make progress. As a result, they become discouraged by small mistakes and eventually quit altogether. Perfectionism creates pressure instead of growth. It causes people to focus excessively on flaws, failures, and imperfections, while ignoring progress. This mindset often leads to procrastination, because people become afraid of making mistakes or producing imperfect results. The truth is that no successful person lives perfectly. Every achiever experiences setbacks, failures, difficult days, and moments of weakness. Growth is not about never falling short. It is about continuing despite imperfections. Successful lifestyles are built through consistency, not perfection. Missing one workout does not destroy health. One unproductive day does not erase progress. One mistake does not define your future. What matters is the willingness to keep moving forward instead of surrendering to discouragement. Burnout is another major danger that must be avoided when designing a sustainable success lifestyle. Many ambitious individuals push themselves relentlessly, without allowing space for recovery, joy, or emotional balance. They become consumed by achievement and ignore warning signs of exhaustion. At first, constant hustle may appear productive, but eventually it creates mental fatigue, emotional depletion, and loss of passion. Burnout weakens creativity, focus, motivation, and overall well-being. Sustainable success requires balance between effort and recovery. Rest is not laziness. Recovery is not weakness. Restoring your energy is essential for maintaining long-term performance and emotional health. Successful individuals often schedule recovery intentionally because they understand that consistent excellence requires both discipline and renewal. Creating a balanced lifestyle means learning how to pursue goals without destroying your peace, health, or relationships in the process. It means recognizing that success should enhance life rather than consume it entirely. True achievement includes emotional fulfillment, meaningful relationships, physical wellness, and inner peace alongside external accomplishments. Tracking long-term growth is another important part of sustainable success. Many people become discouraged because they focus only on immediate results. They fail to recognize gradual improvement because growth often happens slowly over time. Tracking progress creates awareness and motivation. It helps people recognize patterns, celebrate improvement, and identify areas needing adjustment. Journaling, goal reviews, habit tracking, reflection, and regular self-assessment all contribute to greater self-awareness and intentional growth. One of the most powerful realizations in personal development is understanding how far consistency can take you over time. A single day of effort may not seem significant, but years of disciplined action create extraordinary transformation. Small habits practiced consistently often produce results far beyond what people initially imagined possible. Building a personal success blueprint can help create clarity and direction for long-term growth. A success blueprint is a vision for how you want to live, think, grow, and contribute. It serves as a guide for creating routines and habits aligned with your purpose and values. Creating this blueprint begins with reflection. What kind of life do you truly want to build? What values matter most to you? What habits support the person you want to become? What relationships, goals, and priorities deserve your attention? Many people chase society's definition of success without asking themselves what genuinely fulfills them. They pursue money, status, or recognition while neglecting purpose and inner peace. However, success without alignment often leads to emptiness. A meaningful success lifestyle is built around values and purpose. It reflects who you truly are and what matters most deeply to you. When your habits align with your values, life becomes more intentional and fulfilling. Purpose gives meaning to discipline and consistency. It reminds people why their habits matter. During difficult seasons, purpose provides motivation stronger than temporary emotion. It creates direction and helps people remain committed to growth even when progress feels slow. Living intentionally also requires courage. Designing your own success lifestyle may mean rejecting unhealthy societal pressures, distractions, or expectations that do not align with your values. It may require saying no to things that drain energy, and yes to habits that strengthen your future. This process takes honesty and self-awareness. You must decide what truly matters to you, instead of allowing the world to define success for you. Some people value financial freedom. Others prioritize family, creativity, leadership, health, spiritual growth, or contribution to others. There is no single blueprint for success that fits everyone perfectly. What matters most is creating a life aligned with your purpose, strengths, and values. When your daily habits reflect what matters deeply to you, life gains clarity and direction. Transformation ultimately happens through daily action. Knowledge alone does not create change. Inspiration alone does not build success. Action is what turns vision into reality. This is why creating a final action plan for daily transformation is so important. A strong action plan begins with simplicity and consistency. Identify the habits that will create the greatest positive impact in your life. Focus on routines that strengthen your health, mindset, productivity, relationships, discipline, and personal growth. Then commit to practicing those habits consistently, even when motivation fades. Start each day with intention. Protect your focus. Create time for growth and reflection. Prioritize your health and emotional well-being. Surround yourself with people who support your purpose. Continue learning and improving. Remain flexible during difficult seasons. Most importantly, stay committed to progress over perfection. There will be moments when the journey feels difficult. Some days motivation will disappear. Some seasons will challenge your confidence and discipline. During those moments, remember that success is not built through occasional perfection but through repeated persistence. Every day is an opportunity to strengthen the lifestyle you are creating. Every positive choice moves you closer to the person you are becoming. Even small actions matter because they shape identity and momentum over time. You already possess the ability to create meaningful transformation in your life. The power to change your future exists within the decisions you make daily. Your habits are shaping your destiny, whether intentionally or unintentionally. The question is whether you will design those habits consciously. Do not wait for perfect conditions before beginning. Start now with what you have. Build simple routines that support your goals. Protect your energy and focus. Continue growing even when progress feels slow. Trust the power of consistency. Remember that success is not only about reaching destinations. It is about becoming stronger, wiser, healthier, more disciplined, and more fulfilled throughout the journey. The rituals you build today are creating the life you will experience tomorrow. Your future is not determined by luck alone. It is shaped daily through your thoughts, actions, routines, and choices. When you intentionally design a lifestyle centered around growth, purpose, discipline, and balance, extraordinary transformation becomes possible. You were created for more than temporary motivation and unfinished potential. You were created to build a life of meaning, strength, impact, and fulfillment. Every habit you practice is helping shape that future. Choose rituals that strengthen your mind, body, relationships, and purpose. Create systems that support lasting growth. Remain adaptable during life's challenges. Let go of perfectionism and focus on consistency. Continue learning, reflecting, and improving. The life you desire is not built in one dramatic moment. It is built one intentional day at a time. Conclusion. Your future is built one day at a time. Every extraordinary life is built through ordinary days used wisely. Success is not created in one dramatic moment. It is not built through occasional bursts of motivation or temporary excitement. True transformation happens gradually, quietly, and consistently through the daily rituals people choose to practice over time. The small choices repeated every day eventually shape character, mindset, habits, relationships, health, productivity, and ultimately the direction of life itself. Throughout this book, one powerful truth has appeared again and again: your daily habits are creating your future. Whether intentional or unintentional, every routine is shaping the person you are becoming. The way you think, work, rest, learn, focus, communicate, and care for yourself is influencing your long-term success more than you may realize. The people who achieve greatness are not necessarily born with extraordinary advantages. Many successful individuals simply commit themselves to disciplined routines and consistent growth long after others lose focus. They understand that success is not built on motivation alone. It is built through systems, rituals, and habits that continue even when emotions fluctuate. You have learned how powerful daily rituals can become when practiced consistently. Small actions may appear insignificant in the moment, but over time they compound into extraordinary outcomes. One focused hour each day can lead to mastery. One healthy habit repeated consistently can transform physical and mental well-being. One intentional mindset shift can change the direction of an entire life. The compound effect of habits is one of the most life-changing principles of success. Positive actions build upon one another gradually. Discipline strengthens confidence. Focus increases productivity. Learning expands opportunities. Healthy relationships strengthen emotional resilience. Consistent routines create stability and momentum. Every intentional habit becomes a brick in the foundation of a stronger future. At the same time, this book has shown that success is about far more than achievement alone. True success includes balance, purpose, emotional health, meaningful relationships, and inner fulfillment. A life of accomplishment means little if it is built on constant burnout, exhaustion, or emptiness. Sustainable success requires caring for the whole person. You have explored the importance of mornings and how the way you begin your day influences focus, energy, and productivity. You have learned how deep work and focused attention create meaningful progress in a world filled with distractions. You have seen why discipline is stronger than temporary motivation, and why consistency matters more than perfection. You have discovered the importance of health habits, and how physical wellness strengthens mental clarity, emotional resilience, and long-term performance. You have explored mindset rituals that train the mind for growth, optimism, and perseverance during difficult seasons. You have learned how productivity systems simplify life and create greater efficiency. You have also seen how lifelong learning keeps the mind expanding, and how personal growth creates new opportunities throughout every stage of life. You have explored the power of relationships, communication, emotional intelligence, and supportive environments in shaping success and fulfillment. Finally, you have learned how to design a lifestyle centered around intentional rituals, purpose, and sustainable growth. All of these principles point toward one central message: the quality of your life is deeply connected to the quality of your daily habits. Many people spend years waiting for their lives to change, while ignoring the small decisions shaping their future every single day. They wait for perfect timing, greater motivation, or dramatic breakthroughs. Yet transformation often begins with simple, consistent action. It begins with choosing discipline over excuses, growth over comfort, and intentional living over drifting through life unconsciously. Consistency is the true secret behind extraordinary outcomes. It is easy to become inspired, temporarily. It is easy to start strong for a few days or weeks. The real challenge is remaining committed when excitement fades and progress feels slow. This is where greatness is built. Successful individuals understand that consistency creates momentum. They do not rely solely on emotions to guide their actions. They continue showing up, even on difficult days. They understand that every small act of discipline strengthens character and moves them closer to their goals. There will be moments when growth feels frustrating. Some days motivation will disappear completely. Some seasons will test your patience, discipline, and resilience. During those times, remember that progress is not always visible immediately. Many of the most important transformations happen quietly beneath the surface, before becoming obvious externally. A seed planted in the ground does not become a tree overnight. Growth happens gradually. Roots develop first before visible fruit appears. In the same way, your habits are shaping your future, even when results are not immediately visible. Every disciplined choice matters. Every healthy routine matters. Every moment of persistence matters. One of the greatest mistakes people make is believing they must be perfect in order to succeed. Perfectionism often destroys momentum because people become discouraged by mistakes and setbacks. However, growth has never required perfection. It requires persistence. There will be days when you fall short. There will be moments when old habits return temporarily. There will be times when life becomes overwhelming and routines feel difficult to maintain. Do not allow temporary setbacks to convince you that progress is impossible. One imperfect day does not erase months of growth. Focus on progress instead of perfection. Every step forward matters. Every lesson learned matters. Every moment of growth strengthens the person you are becoming. The goal is not to live flawlessly, but to continue improving consistently over time. Your future is not created through isolated moments of greatness. It is built through repeated actions practiced daily. The rituals you choose today are shaping your confidence, mindset, discipline, emotional health, relationships, and opportunities tomorrow. Imagine the impact of 1 year of intentional growth. Imagine what could happen if you committed yourself daily to learning, focus, discipline, health, meaningful relationships, and personal development. Small habits practiced consistently for months and years can completely transform the direction of your life. Many people underestimate their own potential because they focus too heavily on present limitations instead of future possibilities. They look at how far they still need to go, instead of recognizing the power of gradual improvement. Yet some of the most extraordinary success stories began with simple daily habits practiced faithfully over time. The power to transform your life already exists within your daily choices. You do not need to become someone else before growth begins. You simply need to begin where you are with what you have. Every intentional action creates momentum. Every positive habit strengthens your future. Your mindset matters. Your health matters. Your discipline matters. Your focus matters. Your relationships matter. Your routines matter. All of these areas work together to shape the life you experience. The beautiful truth is that change is always possible. No matter how stuck, discouraged, distracted, or inconsistent you may have been in the past, you have the ability to create a different future starting today. The habits that once held you back can be replaced with habits that move you forward. The thoughts that weakened your confidence can be replaced with beliefs that strengthen resilience and growth. Transformation begins with decision. It begins when you choose to stop drifting through life unconsciously and start living intentionally. It begins when you recognize that your daily routines are either building the life you desire or slowly pulling you away from it. This is why daily rituals are so powerful. They create structure in chaos, direction in uncertainty, and growth in seasons that might otherwise feel stagnant. They allow ordinary people to accomplish extraordinary things through consistent intentional action. To help you begin applying these principles immediately, challenge yourself over the next 30 days to focus intentionally on your daily habits. Start simple. Choose a few meaningful routines that align with the person you want to become. Commit to practicing them consistently, even when motivation fades. Wake up with intention each morning. Protect your focus from distractions. Move your body regularly. Nourish your mind with positive learning and reflection. Practice gratitude daily. Strengthen your relationships through presence and communication. Create moments of rest and recovery. Stay disciplined with the promises you make to yourself. Track your progress honestly, but with compassion. Do not expect perfection. Instead, focus on building momentum. Celebrate small victories and learn from setbacks without giving up. The purpose of the challenge is not temporary motivation, but creating awareness of how daily actions shape your life. By the end of 30 days, you may begin noticing subtle but meaningful changes. Your mindset may feel stronger. Your focus may improve. Your confidence may increase. Your energy and discipline may grow. Most importantly, you will begin proving to yourself that transformation is possible through consistent action. Remember that your life is not shaped by luck alone. It is shaped by choices, habits, perspective, and persistence. Every day presents an opportunity to move closer to the life you desire. Every morning offers a new chance to strengthen your routines and align your actions with your purpose. You are the architect of your own life. The routines you design are building the future you will eventually live in. If you continue repeating unhealthy patterns, your future will reflect those choices. But if you intentionally build habits centered around growth, discipline, purpose, and balance, your future will begin changing in powerful ways. No one else can create your life for you. No one else can practice your habits, strengthen your mindset, or pursue your purpose on your behalf. The responsibility and opportunity belong to you. That truth is both challenging and incredibly empowering. Inside you is the ability to grow beyond your current limitations. Inside you is the potential to become more focused, disciplined, resilient, healthy, confident, and fulfilled. Every day you practice intentional rituals, you strengthen that potential. Never underestimate the power of one disciplined day, repeated consistently over time. Greatness is not reserved for a select few. It is often built quietly through ordinary people choosing to live intentionally, while others remain distracted and inconsistent. Your future is being created right now through the habits you practice daily. Choose routines that strengthen your mind, body, relationships, and purpose. Choose discipline over excuses. Choose growth over comfort. Choose consistency over perfection. The life you desire is not built someday in the distant future. It is built one intentional day at a time. Thank you for reading this book. I hope you enjoyed it. Please remember to leave us a review. TM Light. Disclaimer. This book was created with the assistance of artificial intelligence. While every effort was made to ensure the accuracy and relevance of the content, readers should note that this cannot be considered professional advice. Readers are encouraged to apply their own judgment and consult experts where needed.